Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, all of you. Hope you are all fine. Welcome to the Strategic Business Leader questions practice session. Okay, as discussed in the orientation session, first we'll cope up with some important theory which I have shared already with you, and you have to go through those theory notes, and then straight away we'll go on to the questions. Okay, and then straight away we will go on to the questions. The first question which we are going to attempt is Zilber Hotels. Okay, Zilber Hotel. One thing in the SBL, which is important is the industry you are being tested on. If the industry is a manufacturing industry, and if someone works in a manufacturing industry, he will automatically know the norms, and he will automatically know the scenarios, the environment of that industry. And for that particular person who work in that industry will found easy to attempt the question or the exam, because he belongs to that industry. Similarly, Zilber belongs to hotel industry. Zilber belongs to hotel industry, and therefore, if you just consider that you are a traveler, just assume that you are a traveler and you have been traveling all around the world, and you have visited different hotels, the middle hotels and the five-star hotels. So you have an experience, you know what are the norms in the hotels, what do they charge, what are the technology they are using, how they are aligned with the flights, so that the flights directly, when they land, the drivers directly take into that hotel. So you all know these things now. So comparatively, hotel industry is an easy question, is an easy industry. Although what are the requirements, we don't know what are the requirements there, but hotel industry is comparatively an easy industry. So therefore, I have selected this one question to be attempted first. Therefore, I have selected this one question to be attempted first. Okay. So where can we get this question, beta? This is available in BBP kit, in the mini mock sections. Okay, in the mini mock sections. So it is available. And yes, couple of students have also asked that, sir, whether we should go for P1 and P3 questions. Do we need to attempt P1 and P3 questions, the older version of SBL? I won't recommend to go for P1 and P3 questions, as they are slightly shorter than SBL. SBL is a lengthy paper. In fact, it's a project. So I would recommend you to go for SBL questions. Similarly, there is a mini mock. It's a mini mock. It's a mini SBL, I would suggest. It's a mini SBL, I would suggest. So try to attempt these questions rather than going for P1 and P3. You have multiple questions now. It's not the first or second attempt of SBL. It's, I guess, the 10th or 12th attempt of SBL. So you have 10 different questions. You have 3 specimens. You have 1 practice question named machine shop. You have 4 mini mocks. Try to attempt these questions rather than going for P1 and P3. Okay. So the first question we are going to start is Zilber Hotels. I would request you to leave up your work. Do not write anything. Each of the questions PDF will be shared with you after the class. Then you want to copy, you can. If you want to copy, you can. You want to write, you can, but after the class, not in the class. I want your complete focus on the question, the way I analyze the question, the way I make my pointers, the way I highlight, the way I plan the exam. I wanted to teach this to you. And if it is delivered, and if you learn the technique to solve this question, that's all for SBL. Okay. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, starting Zilber Hotels. You have recently started work as a management accountant at Zilber Hotel. Okay, now you are a management accountant. reporting to the financial controller, and you report to the financial controller. As I have already told in orientation, then you will be given multiple roles, or you will be given a single role for the complete scenario, or you will be given a multiple roles. Okay, so these are multiple roles. Draft management accounts have been prepared for the year just finished, and the financial controller has told you that one of your first jobs will be helping her to analyze the results in order to produce the board report. Okay, your first job is to helping her to analyze the results in order to produce the board report. Basically, you are working on the board report. Okay, try to summarize the data you are gaining. You are a management accountant and you are working on a board report with financial controller, which is a lady. However, she has warned you to expect a wide variety of tasks because this year end is always the year end is always a very busy time. And yes, I've been doing a couple of year ends in my company, and yes, it's a very hectic time. So yes, totally fine. You are working on some projects now. Board report. The financial controller has given you some information to help you familiarize yourself with the company and the issues it is facing. Okay, you are going to face some issues. Exhibit 1 to 3, and you have also collected some further information yourself. Okay, and you have some information collected by yourself. Okay, now you have given 5 exhibits. Since it's a mini mock, you have given 5 exhibits, else there are multiple exhibits being given, like 6 or 7 in a normal SBL exam. So you have been given some information in exhibit 1 and 3, and you have researched for some information in exhibit 4 and 5. Exhibit 1, company overview prepared by financial controller. Exhibit 2, summary management accounts. Exhibit 3, email from chief executive officer showing a potential strategic opportunity for the company. Exhibit 4, notes from meeting with the head of internal audit. And exhibit 5, internal memo from the head of internal audit. Now you have given 5 sets of data. Okay, you have been given the 5 sets of data. Company overview prepared by financial controller, summary of management accounts, email from CEO of a strategic opportunity. There's an opportunity, either this can be of acquisition, or this can be of a new product launch, new variety product launch. Okay, so there can be any of the thing. And notes from the meeting of head of internal audit. The head of internal audit has done a meeting and you have been given the notes. So there will be several internal audit requirement you might go for. An internal memo of head of internal audit, and internal audit have discussed something and have written memo to you. Okay, the case requirements are included in the task shown below. The case requirements are here. See, I also tell to my students that this data is much important. This data is much important. The reason being that you are being aware of the company, you are being aware of the industry. You will be aware after reading this that what are the sets of data being given to you. Like you have been given the company overview, you have been given the management accounts, you have been given the email of the CEO, and there are some internal audit notes with you. So this initial page of the SBL exam is very important, as it makes you aware of complete question. And after going this, I know there's a strategic opportunity. So there can be a requirement to evaluate the strategic opportunity, as evaluation is one of the skills we discussed. You know, the 5 skills are going to be tested: analysis, evaluation, skepticism, commercial acumen. Okay, analysis, skepticism, commercial acumen, evaluation, and communication. These are the 5 skills being given to you. So one of the skill can be tested here to evaluate the strategic opportunity. I'm just assuming. I haven't gone through the questions. And I'm just assuming. Okay. So now we are going to solve the requirements. Case requirements are included in the tasks shown below. Required. Using the information provided, draft an extract of the board report. Now what you are going to make? The extract of the board report. Listen, this is the format you are going to use. The format which is being tested in this exam, in this question, is extract of the board report. You are not going to make the board report, you are going to make the extract. The format you need to use will award you. If you have used the accurate format, it will award you the professional marks, because the format you're going to use is carries the professional marks. Okay. Which analysis Zilber Hotel performance in 2007, including both financial and non-financial aspects of performance. See, using the information provided, draft an extract of the board report which analysis Zilber Hotel performance in 2007. Okay, including both financial and non-financial aspects of performance. So now what you're going to do, you're going to analyze, Zilber performance in 2007, including both financial and non-financial aspects. And again, which skill is tested? Professional skills marks are available for analytical skills. Professional skill marks are available for analytical skills. Okay. See, you have read the first requirement, and the first requirement wants you to draft the extract. Okay, the format you are going to use is the extract, which will analyze Zilber's performance, financial and non-financial. Okay, the skills being given is analytical skills, and further you are going to go for financial and non-financial aspects, and the marks for this requirement is 16. 14 for the pointers you are going to make, and 2 for the 14 for the pointers you are going to make, and 2 for the professional marks, and 2 for the professional marks. Okay, now what you are going to do, you need to plan this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a planner. I'm just going to use a rough paper. I'm just going to use a rough paper and see what I've done. See what I've done. I've used here that this is the rough paper. Okay, you can use any of the exam sheet as a rough paper. The last sheet can be used as a rough paper, and you need to plan your answers there. And you need to plan your answer there. Like the question 1 is analysis of financial and non-financial performance. I wrote the requirement, analysis of financial and non-financial performance. Okay, in which 16 marks are being given. 16 marks are being given. Okay. 16 out of 16, 14 are going to be for the pointers and 2 are going to be for the professional marks. But I would request you to consider the 16 marks as single marks. Okay, we are not going to go for 2 and 14. You consider this, the total requirement consists of 16, and write your pointers considering these are the full marks. So I didn't understand what you are trying to say. So yeah, I'm going to say that the 14 marks are for pointers and 2 marks are for professional marks. But I would request you to join these marks. 14 plus 2, that is 16. The 16 marks are going to be given for this requirement, and I would request you to consider the 16 and write your answer in order to gain these 16 marks. So you are going to write approx 12 to 16 points for this particular requirement. For this particular requirement, you are going to write 12 to 16 points. Okay. What examiner believe is 1 point will award you 2 marks. But I would request to write more than this. Like if we go to this theory that 16 marks are there, we are going to go for 8 points now. So 1 mark is going to be awarded, 2 marks are going to be awarded for 8 points, 1 point. So therefore 8 points will get you 16 points. But I usually want you to write at least 12 to 16 points. Write maximum as much as you can. Minimum 12 and maximum 16. So if any wrong point is written, if any incorrect point is written, there are many other points which will let you gain the marks. So do not write exactly the examiner wants. Like if examiner wants you to write the 8 points to get the 16 marks, I would request you to write 10, 12 or 16. Go for the more. So if any of the point is wrong, the other point will help you to get the marks. Okay. So what I want you is to make a planner. This is a rough SBL answer sheet, and this is the first requirement planner. That 16 marks are being given. And who am I? Who am I? I am a management accountant. I am a management accountant. What format I am going to use? What format I am going to use? Extract of a board report. I am going to make an extract of a board report. See, write all these things so that you do not need to go on the questions again and again. You have summarized all the data. This is the planning. If this is effective, your answer is going to be effective. So extract of board report. Okay, extract of board report and analysis skills. Analysis skills is being tested here. Okay, now the important thing which will help you to solve this question is that from which exhibits this answer can be written. This answer can be written. This requirement can be solved. From which exhibits this requirement can be solved? You need to analyze the C. In SBL, examiner wants your answer should comprises from multiple exhibits. Okay, but there are some requirements which can only be done through one exhibit or two exhibits. And if you know that this requirement is from that particular exhibit, it will automatically help you to write the answer. As you know that this is the question and this is the exhibit which I'm going to get the answers. So just read this exhibit and write down the answer. You didn't understand. I'll clear you. See. They want the performance. They want us to analyze the performance. So for analysis of the performance, there should be numbers being given up. The numbers in which I'll calculate the ratios, I'll calculate the KPIs, and I'll analyze the performance. So there must be one exhibit in which the numbers will be given. And yes, you are correct. You are right. Summary of the management accounts. Summary of the management accounts. Management accounts means there are internal numbers that have been reported to the management. I hope you know what are management accounts. They are the internal numbers which are being to be reported to the management. So if there is a requirement wanting us to analyze the performance, we will be using exhibit 2. We will be using exhibit 2 for this particular requirement. See, now you exactly know that this requirement can be dealt with exhibit 2. And yes, exhibit 1 will also be used. Exhibit 1 will also be used as its company's overview. So this can also be used in analyzing the performance. So see, now to attempt this requirement, I do not want to read complete question. I just need to read exhibit 1 and exhibit 2. I just need to read exhibit 1 and exhibit 2. I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. Like I am going to allocate the exhibits to the requirement. But sir, examiner wants us to collect data from multiple exhibits. If you have time, you can either use exhibit 3 and exhibit 4 for the first requirement. But the major points, the major awarding points are going to be from exhibit 1 and exhibit 2. Just let me know if this is clear, because this is the important thing to pass the SBL. Just let me know if it's clear. Just tell me. Okay, there are multiple questions. Yeah, the first question is, what about the time constraint? Hey guys, just listen. I'll I'll let you practice 10 to 12 different questions, and in 10 to 12 different questions, there will be a learning curve. In the first question, you are going to gain for more time. Yeah, you are going to take more time, but once the practice is done, once the practice is done, once the uh, different scenarios are being done, you will be easy to deal with this. Okay, and I'm not saying to write maximum points. I'm saying if one requirement is easy, like to analyze the financial performance is easy, try to get maximum marks from here, so that if you are performing poor in a difficult requirement, this can offset the poor requirement, and you can easily cross the 50 marks. See, I'm going to help you to gain the 50 marks. Huh? So in order to gain the 50 marks, I would request you, if there's an easy requirement giving you maximum marks, try to attempt more that. Okay. Other question is, okay, how do we know that this is particular from that exhibit? See, I told you that to analyze the performance, to analyze the performance, we need to go through the numbers. Okay, we need to go through the numbers, and we need to be given some numbers in which the analysis can be done. And we have been given the exhibit 2 as a management accounts. We have been given as the exhibit 2 in the management accounts. So that means the exhibit 2 is purely for first requirement. Yes, you are correct. So there must be some information in exhibit 4 also. The head of internal audit must be using some numbers in his information. So yeah, you are correct that exhibit 4 can also be help us in solving first requirement, but the maximum points we are going to get is from the exhibit 2. And if you're going to get maximum points for there, use your focus there to attempt the first requirement. So we will lose marks from the exhibit 4. Better you will lose 2 or 3 marks, but you'll get 12 to 13 marks, which are good, and you can move on to the other requirements also. So this is easy. And if you want that exhibit 4 data can also be used in the first requirement, I would request you that when first requirement is completely attempted, leave 3 to 4 lines and go on to the second requirement, so that if in the other exhibits you got the data, you have lines left, you can use that point also in the first requirement. But the main plan is to allocate the exhibits if possible. And yeah, it isn't possible in every question. Like the other question we are going to attempt, the exhibit allocation is not easy there, as multiple exhibits are being used in the requirement. But if you got a scenario in which exhibits can be allocated, so this will help you in writing your answer. Is it clear? Okay, so this is the first requirement, and we have also written the notes that this is the planner of the first requirement. Okay, and now see the second requirement, and now see we are again going to exhibit. We are going to allocate the exhibit. The finance director has forwarded you the CEO's email about similar potential strategic opportunity for Zilber and asked for your thoughts about it. Okay. The second requirement is about the CEO's message for the potential acquisition. I remember we have an exhibit regarding this. We have an exhibit email from CEO showing potential strategic opportunity for the company. Email from CEO showing potential strategic opportunity for the company. Hey, see. So the second requirement is going to be completely be solved by exhibit 3. In exhibit 3, we have been given potential strategic opportunity, and in the question 2, they want us to evaluate that potential strategic opportunity. So the exhibit 3 is going to help us in second question. Sir, but there could be some data in the exhibit 1 for the requirement 2. There could be some data in exhibit 2 for requirement 3. Yeah, they can be, but the major points are going to be coming from exhibit 3, and I'm going to focus on exhibit 3 for the second requirement. I'm going to use the data of exhibit 1 and exhibit 2, but the prime focus to attempt this requirement is going to be exhibit 3. I'll open up the exhibit 3 with me and the answer paper, and by seeing exhibit 3, I'm going to write the exam. Understood? So what they want us to write the briefing paper for the finance director, which evaluate the appropriateness of proposed acquisition. The skills are evaluation skills. In evaluation skills, you are going to write the pros and the cons in evaluation skills. In evaluation skills, you are going to write the pros and the cons, the benefits and the demerits of the acquisition. Okay, I'm going to give you the pointers for the skills also, like how you are going to show this particular skill in your answer. So don't you worry, just plan this. Like here, that in the second requirement we have been 10 marks. So in 10 marks we are going to go for 8 to 10 points. We have an briefing paper to be attempted. We are management accountant. Our role is not changed. The skills are going to be examined at evaluation, and finance director has sent us an ECEO's message. The major exhibit being used for this requirement is exhibit 2. See, I'm letting you understand now, so therefore I'm taking more time, but this thing will get you 10 to 12 minutes to plan the answer, to plan the 2 requirements. Okay, now the third requirement. What does that third requirement wants us? See, the FD tells you that Zilber's NED has raised some concern about the balance of strategic and operational risk. Now, this is a bit of theory. The person to attempt this requirement must know what is strategic risk and what is operational risk included in company's risk register. The FD asked you to follow up this issue by speaking to the head of internal audit. See, if you know the head of internal audit, there were the 2 exhibits related to the head of internal audit. So what I believe that this particular requirement can be solved through those, by making the prime focus on those 2 exhibits. The FD asks you to follow up this issue. Basically, they want us to analyze the strategic and operational risk. See, required assess the risk currently included in risk register. Go on the exhibits and see where is risk register being given. There isn't any data in exhibits. In the headings of exhibit, regarding risk register, but what I believe that risk register is going to be given in these two exhibits. As the head of internal audit, its main work is to analyze the risk companies facing. The internal audit primary job roles are this. So what they want us to do, that risk currently included in Zilber's risk register in the light of NAD's concern, and your meeting with the head of internal audit. Professional skills marks are available for skepticism. In this, you need to be skeptic. In this requirement. So how we are going to show skepticism? By questioning them, by questioning the risks being given to us, and by questioning that why that particular risk is not included in your register. In hotel industry, that particular risk is very valid. See, if someone is from hotel industry, he will know what are the risks we usually face. So this requirement is going to be easy for the person who works in the hotel industry. Understood why I told you that if someone work in that particular industry, the question that the paper is going to be easy for him. See, professional skills marks are available for skepticism. What we are going to do, we are going to plan this. In question 3, we are going to assess the risk register. 8 marks being given. Skepticism being 8 marks are going to be tested. Skepticism is the skill. Not any format is tested. You are management accountant, your role is not changed, and there isn't any format. There isn't any format. Just go through the question again and check if there's any format. They don't need any format in this requirement, so you can use any of the format, or you can just write the answer, heading of your answer, and sorry. See, so in this particular requirement, there isn't any format asked. Okay, and we have been given 8 marks, so at least 6 to 8 points or 4 to 8 points should be tested, should be written. This is how you are going to analyze the requirements. Okay, now B part. What's the B part? The FD also mentions that an additional issue to consider in relation to risk register is the potential impact that disruptive technology could have on the hotel industry. The other requirement is disruptive technology. So before attempting this requirement, I would teach you what is disruptive technology and how and see what is the requirement. They don't need the definition of disruptive technology. They want how does disruptive technology can affect Zilber or can affect the hotel industry? How does disruptive technology can affect Zilber or can affect the hotel industry? However, the FD is concerned that some of the directors may not yet to be familiar with the concept of disruptive technology. Some directors do not know. So we are going to state the definition, but our prime answer is going to be the how disruptive technology is going to affect Zilber. How disruptive technology is going to affect Zilber. Required information for a slide. What format they need? They need the slide. What format they need? They need the slide to be presented in the board, including relevant bullet points and supporting notes. They need a slide which will be presented in a board, which will include bullet points, which will include bullet points and supporting notes, which will include bullet points and supporting notes explaining what disruptive technology is and highlighting the potential impact. And see, the specific format is slide. The specific format is slide, and the skills being tested are communication. The skills being tested are communication, highlighting the key points to include in the slide. Usually whenever the slide is made, the communication skills are tested. Reason being that the slide requires a proper format. You have to go for a proper format. You have to write the pointers and the notes. So usually in the slide or in the questions like press releases, usually communication skills are being tested, because it requires the proper format. It requires the proper starters. Like if you are going for a press release, there's a separate tone for the press release. The second question we are going to attempt, in that second question, cheap kid, a press release is asked, and in press release a complete tone is changed, because you are going to go external. In internal data, the tone is changed, and if you're going for a press release, then your tone is completely changed. You cannot admit your mistake, and you can only use better points for the company. Although your company is performing bad, but you will say that it's totally good and for the press, because it's going to be external. It's going to be published to the wider public. So you need to use the appropriate tone for press release. So such requirements which contain slides, which contains press releases, usually communication skills are being tested. And now professional skill marks are available for demonstrating communication skills. Okay. Now go and make the planner. Question 3 is disruptive technology and how it is going to affect. And remember, we need to make the directors understand the disruptive technology and how it affects the Zilber. But there will be some shortcomings in Zilber's technology, and we know that there are some other hotels using the better technology, so it can disrupt the Zilber's performance. We need to make it clear for the directors. And see, you are going to communicate with the directors. You are going to make a slide for the directors, so the tone should be quite a good one, as you are going to report to the directors now. 8 marks, so 7 to 8 points. Your role is not changed. You are a management accountant. Communication skills, and the format is slides. And yes, this is a general requirement. There isn't any exhibit. See, there isn't any exhibit stating a data particular to disruptive technology. There could be a little bit discussion in any of the exhibit, but there isn't any exhibit specifically dealing with disruptive technology. Sir, usually, whether there are general requirements which aren't from any exhibit, yes, there are multiple requirements. There are multiple requirements in which the very less data is being given from the exhibits, and you are going to write completely on your own, considering the external environment, considering the industry norms, considering the environment, considering the competitors. So that particular requirement is not from any exhibits. I don't see any particular specific exhibit stating disruptive technology. So means I'm going to face difficulty in this requirement, as I haven't got any data. So if I haven't got any data, that means it's going to make a problem for me. So I'm going to go general in this requirement, but regularly connecting it with the Zilber. It's a skill. It's a very difficult skill, and I'll try to help you in that also. Okay. Now, the last requirement. See, the previous requirement was of 8 marks, so I have planned that, but I know there isn't any exhibit for this. Okay. Now, shortly after your meeting, the head of internal audit sends you a memo about a recent incident which he felt you should be aware of. Memo, it's from the memo, it's from the memo. Exhibit 5, that means the last requirement is going to be from exhibit 5. The last requirement is talking about memo, so that is going to be from exhibit 5. However, the head of internal audit is now on leaves, and FD has asked your thoughts and how the deficiency exposed in the fraud. Like the exhibit 5, the memo, what I understand till now. I haven't read the exhibit 5, I haven't read the memo, but by reading the requirement, I have known that I knew that this memo considers a fraud which has happened in the Zilber. And what they want us to recommend and specific internal control deficiency exposed by fraud could be addressed. They want us to write control. We have done this in the earlier papers, like in F8, you write controls, you write test of controls. But in SBL, they have highlighted a deficiency, and they want you write the controls for that deficiency. And where's that fraud stated? In the exhibit 5. So this requirement is completely be done through exhibit 5. This requirement is completely be done through exhibit 5. Is there any question? I have planned see the 4th requirement also. And now I'm going to read the exhibits and fill in the pointers here, so that when I'm going to attempt the question, I will just read these pointers and start writing. This is how you plan the SBL exam. This is how you plan the SBL exam. I'm just requesting to read this complete page and this complete page, so that we can move on to exhibits. If there's any question, you can write on the chat box, or you can ask me on WhatsApp, the group I have made. Just review the first and the second page, so you should remember the requirement, and then we'll we have 5 minutes for that, and then we'll start reading exhibits and plan our answer. I know this is taking time, but because I'm making you understand this, so I'm taking time. So you should understand how to solve this. But once you are going to attempt a question, this will take only 10 to 12 minutes. See, in planning the answer, you have 40 minutes to plan the answer. But what my aim is that after practicing number of SBL questions, the planning time should be 30 minutes. Like, you should take 30 minutes for the planning, and once 30 minutes are done, leave the planning. How many requirements you have planned, start attempting those. Later on we will plan the other requirements. But what my aim is to enable you to plan complete SBL in 30 minutes. 5 minutes are done. You have 5 minutes just to review the questions, and you'll go on to the exhibits. Yeah. Shall we start reading the requirements? Shall we start reading the exhibits? A couple of my students also start also hesitate in making such a plan in exam. So I recommend them use different highlighters. If you don't want to plan the question like this, you can plan the question by using the highlighters. I usually teach both of the planners. Okay, so whatever the planner you found useful, you can go through. Either you can make a planner like this, or you can use a different highlighters. Like go on the stationery shop and get 5 to 10 different color highlighters and allocate different highlighters to the requirement. See, like if I could say, I'm going to allocate red highlighter here, like wherever I'm going to get a data for the first requirement, I'm going to highlight it red, so that all pointers for the first requirement are going to be highlighted in red. So when I'm going to write the answer, I'm going to open the question paper. Wherever I found the red highlighter, I'm going to use that point in my first answer. This can also be done. This is also an effective technique of planner. I usually prefer both. I usually teach students both. So whether they want to make a planner or they are going to use the highlighter. See, like in this, I'm going to allocate the first, the blue, the red to the first requirement, and the orange to the second requirement. So if I got any data in the second requirement, in the any exhibits related to the second requirement, so I'm going to highlight it here orange. Similarly, the blue for the third requirement, for the 3A is going to be blue, and 3B is going to be lighter blue. So if I got any data pertaining to 3B, which is a general requirement now, because disruptive technologies data is rarely given in this question. We'll do the exhibits, but what I remember is disruptive technology data is not given in much in questions. So I'm allocating the colors to the requirement, so that if I got any data pertaining to this requirement, I'm going to color it this. So I'm not going to make this type of planner. I'm going to use highlighters. I'm going to use highlighters. Okay. Now the exhibits are being given. Sir, they are such a shorter exhibits. I don't know why. Reason being that the shorter exhibits are because it's a mini mock. If a student says that it's very short exhibit comparative to the SBL exam, yeah, because it's such mini chota SBL. It's a mini SBL. Huh? So the exhibits are going to be shorter than the original SBL version. Okay. Now see exhibit 1. See exhibit 1. We are going to read this. Just a minute. Yeah. So start reading the first exhibit, which is exhibit 1. Okay. Company overview. See, this overview can be used in performance. This overview can be used in performance because it will help you to understand the company, how big the company is. So this overview can be used in first requirement. Therefore, in the first requirement, I have allocated this exhibit. Okay. Now, Zilber Company operates a chain of 35 hotels across the country of Thailand. So it have 35 hotels. It's a big giant, 35 hotels. The hotels are all of a similar size, and an average hotel has 90 rooms. And the average hotel has 90 rooms. So this point can be used that they have. See, I have written in a planner that they have 35 hotels, 90 rooms. So while judging the performance, I'm going to write that they are big hotel. They have 35 hotels all across the Thailand, and they have 90 rooms per hotel. So they have a strong, big, large capacity. Okay. So this is how the planning works. Now, the majority of the Zilber hotels are located in the major cities, and the company's largest market primarily being business customers. Okay. So they have largest market. Business customers. They usually entertain business customers. Okay. In recent years, however, demand from business customers has started to decline due to tough economic conditions. See, hey, boy. Their usual and prime customers are business customers. So if they are going to decline, it is going to impact the profitability due to tough economic condition, due to adverse business consequences. Like in the tenure of COVID, there was a tough business, tough economic conditions. So the businessman faces the losses. So therefore, similar to like that, the tea land is facing tough economic conditions. And therefore, their business customers are declined. So we are going to, if the revenue is declined, we'll see in the exhibit 2, if the revenue is declined, we are going to say that because of the tough economic conditions, their major prime customers, which were business, They are rarely visiting the hotels. They are less going on the business travels, and they are less using the traveling mode. So therefore they are going to have tough economic conditions. Okay. So we are going to say they have business customers. We are going to say they have business customers. See, I'm using the pointers. And decline in business customers. I'm planning. This is my planning. Decline in business customers. Now, the company policy is to set a standard price for the rooms in each hotel, with that price reflecting the hotel's location and taking account the competitor price. Okay, they have a standard price. However, hotel managers have the authority to offer discounts selectively in order to obtain bookings. See, who is going to offer the discounts? The hotel managers. Think. Hotel managers are going to offer the discounts to the customers. So if any relative of hotel manager arises, it is in his hand to offer the discount. Although he's not the owner of the hotel, but since the discount have his authority, so he can offer. So if the revenues decline, there's a chance we'll see the revenue. I don't know whether the revenue is increased or decreased, but if it is declined, the one reason can be business customers fallen in the tough economic conditions, and the other can be excessive discounts being given by the managers, as the managers have the authority. See, I'm thinking, this is the thinking process you need to create in you. For example, by reducing the room rate for regular customers or lowering prices at times when occupancy rates are expected to be low. When there are lesser customers, they attract customers by offer discounts. Similarly, this is the meaning. They have the right to offer discounts. Okay, discounts by hotel manager. I'm writing a pointer. Through this, I'm going to use the data. Similarly, each hotel manager has authority to offer a discount up to 25% of standard room rate. Okay, they can offer a 25% discount. The average standard price per night across all 35 hotels was 150 in 2007 compared to 145 in 2006. The average standard price is increased. The price is increased due to inflation, usually, and it's not significantly increased. It's only of the $5. And 45 was in previous year and 150 in the last year. So write this. That 145 was the price, and now it has 150 in 2007. See, this is the planning. I'm now, after reading the two exhibits, this list will be complete. And I'm going to use points from that and going to draft my answers. Now, the average standard price per night across all 35 hotels was 150. Okay, we have read this, and all Zilber hotels are open 365 days per year. They are open 365 days. All the hotel rooms have the same facility and specification that business customers staying in Zilber hotels across all the country will know advance what they expect from their stay. Okay, their hotels are same across all 35 hotels in the T land. They are totally same. They are if I am a regular customer of Zilber hotel, once I'm planning to go there, I know what I'm going to get. There's nothing much change. Okay, I know the luxury they are going to offer me. Okay, now hotels in T-land are rated on a star system, with 5-star hotels being most luxurious. Zilber hotels have 4-star rating. Okay, they are the 4-star. Yeah, they are the 4-star. They are not the 5-star. They are the 4-star. So this point can also be used in any of my points. I'm just making the pointers, the data I'm going to get from or I can use the different highlighter also. In addition to room bookings, the hotels also generate revenue from additional activities such as restaurant and bars. They have additional activity. That means the prime source of revenue is the hotel, but they also have restaurant and bars. They can earn from that also. They have what they have. They have primary resources. They have primary resources as an hotels, and after that they have restaurant and bars. So there is a secondary source of revenue also. No discounts are offered in any additional revenue streams. So that means the hotel manager can offer discount on the hotels, but cannot offer discount on restaurant and bars. So what they are going to do? They are going to offer big discounts on hotels, and they are going to sell restaurant and bars expensive, so the compensation can be done. This could be the well planner. You offer discounts on hotels so the customer could stay here, but they surely need a bar, they surely need a pub, they surely need a restaurant, so I'll sell that expensive, so it could offset my discount. So this could be a strategy. This could be a strategy. See, this is the thinking process you need to make. This is the thinking process you need to make. So secondary revenue stream, restaurant and bars. So we have a plan. So we could sell this expensive. At the end of their stay, all customers are invited to complete a short survey identifying the reasons to choose stay in Zilber Hotel and how satisfied. And after this stay, we have a feedback form. It's kind of a feedback form that we ask customers whether they were good or their stay was good or bad. Feedback from surveys shows that the comfort of the Zilber's room, the convenience of the hotel locations, and the quality and efficiency of customer service, the quality of the guest experience, and their level of satisfaction influences not only likelihood of them making repeat bookings, but also the likelihood of them recommending Zilber hotels to friends and colleagues. Okay, so that feedback form allows us to understand whether our customer is happy or whether he's going to recommend us to the other persons also. It's similar like to the teaching. When you are going for a teacher, you ask other students. So what we do is that our student should be happy so that he could recommend us to the other students now. So that he could recommend us to the other students. Therefore, the hotel industry is similar to like this. The service industry is similar to like this. That if you satisfy your customer, he's surely going to repeat. He's surely going to come again. He's surely going to recommend you to the others, friends, colleagues, and all that. So they have a feedback form which they monitor, that which they analyze whether our customer is going to recommend us. So they have a feedback form. Okay. As such, the board have identified customer satisfaction scores as a KPI. Okay, they have a KPI. They have a KPI, key performance indicators. What is that? That is customer satisfaction scores. Other key indicators the board monitor. The key indicators which usually board monitor is occupancy rates. Yeah, for hotel, occupancy rates are the main indicator, that what are the occupancy rates. If it's 100% all over the year, so that means your hotels are occupied 100% in all 365 days. So they have the KPI as satisfaction. Means their prime indicator is whether our customer is satisfied or not, and the secondary indicators are the occupancy rates and the operating profit margin. So that means they prefer customer satisfaction rather than margin. So therefore their KPIs are customer satisfaction scores. So the KPI, we are going to analyze their KPIs and PIs also. KPI is customer satisfaction and PI is operating profit and etc. There must be number of performance indicators. Okay, so now we are done through exhibit 1, and I have analyzed the important data of exhibit 1 in my planner, so that I just see that planner and answer the question. Okay. Just review the exhibit 1. If there's any question, let me know. I'm going to share the screen again. Just a minute. In the meantime, review the exhibit 1. If there's any question from that, we got multiple points from there, and we are surely going to use that. I've shared the screen again. Shall we move on to exhibit 2? This exhibit is really important. This exhibit is really important and the key to attempt the first requirement. Okay, so going to the exhibit 2, summary management accounts. This is the main exhibit helping us to analyze the performance. This is the main exhibit helping us to analyze the performance. Okay, so now see, we have an actual information given, we have an actual information given, we have an budgeted information given, we have an budgeted information given, and we have an actual information of 2006 is given, and we have an actual information given of 2006 being given. Okay, now this is the planning. This is the major planning of this first requirement. It's really important. It's really important. See, the revenue rooms at standard price per night. What are the revenues we got? What are the revenues we got? We got 131,072, 131 million approx, 131 million. The budgeted was 129. We are exceeding the budget. We are exceeding the budget, and we are exceeding the previous year also. So that's good. That this seems good. I'm not concluding it, but this seems good that we are exceeding the budget and we are exceeding the actual performance. Rooms discount or rate, rooms discount, the budgeted discount rate, but the budgeted discount we were going to offer, was 19 million, but we have offered 24 million, significant from the budget and significant from the previous year. Significant from the budget and significant from the previous year. So this could be a point why manager have given such significant discounts. Despite of the discounts, we have achieved the budget, but why they have given this discount? And such a significant discount, which is crossing the budgets. What is the reason? What do you think the reason, guys? Now see, it's your test. It's your test. What was the reason? What you see? What you found the reason that why they are giving the discounts? Are they mad? Why they are giving such discounts? See, See. They have an authority, na? They have an authority to offer discount. So what I'm thinking, I'm just thinking, I don't know exactly why they are giving such significant discounts, but what I think, they are aware of the economic situations and their business customers are declined. Their business customers, the primer customer are declined. So manager thought that if we didn't offer the discount, this could impact our profitability. This is the one point. This is going to get you 2 marks. What, sir? The business customers are declining and manager knew. So he is going to offer discount to the coming business customers so that they should not go for an alternative because there are tough economic conditions. So what I thought, what I'm going to write, there might be fact that the business customers are declined. So therefore, managers are offering discounts. So this could be a point. This could be a point. See, this is the thing required in SBL. Okay, other revenue is increased. Other revenue is increased 34 million, increase from the past year and the budget. Total revenue, now see, total revenue is declined. Declined 140. The budgeted total revenue was 143. Total revenue was 143, and the total revenue we got is 140, which is exceeding the previous year, but it's not up to the budget. Why total revenue is declined? Can anyone tell me why total revenue is declined? Why total revenue is declined, sir? Because of the discounts. We have given significant discounts. Therefore, our total revenue is not matching with the budget. So that means our performance doesn't seem good in the revenue wise, as we have offered significant discounts, which enables us to cover up the customers, but we are not matching with the budget. Did you understand that? Did you understood that? Just write in a chat box. This is a very crucial discussion and I want your 100%. Did you get this? Okay, now operating cost is 117. Operating cost is 117, which is above from the budget and above from the previous year. Yeah, you can write that mainly due to economic conditions, but other leading factor could be the authority of a manager to offer discount. So they have offered significantly discount. The both points are going to be written by me and by you also. Very good. We are going good. Okay, now operating profit is significantly declined from the budget, and if it's declined from the actual previous results also. So we are going to write good points here. We have got some good points here. Operating profit is declined mainly due to economic conditions and discounts. Capital employed is declined. Why capital employed is declined? See, they have a note here that capital employed is calculated using the depreciated cost. So this is declined. There might be some disposals in the current year. There might be some disposals or the depreciation being done. Okay. And return on capital employed is also declined from the budget and from the previous year. Why this rows is declined? The rows is declined because decline in capital employed and decline in profitability. The both factors have contributed to the decline. The majorly the decline in profitability has contributed in those declines. The occupancy rates are above from the budget. Hey man, why occupancy rates have increased? Why occupancy rates have increased? Just tell me why occupancy rates have increased. Write a point, huh? If you are going to tell examiner the occupancy rates have increased, why? Because why occupancy rates have increased? Because due to discount. Because they have given significant discount, therefore occupancy rates have increased from the previous year and from the budget. But why satisfaction? See, our main KPI, has declined. Our main KPI has declined. I don't know why. Why our KPI has declined? I really don't know why. Main KPI, just tell me. Customer satisfaction, it's our major performance indicator and it's declined from the previous year. Like previously, we got 8.9 and now we got 8.5. See, now what they have written. See, customer satisfaction scores are graded on scale 1 to 10, where 10 represents excellent on average in any given location, and the top 10% of the hotel earns scores of 9 or above. The top 10% hotels earn score 9. And now the top 25% hotels earn scores 8.5 or above. See, last year we were on 8.9. If we round off, then it's 9. Now see what point I'm going to create. Just see this. Last year, just assume that we are 8.9, which is close to the 9 if we round off. So in last year we were top 10% hotels. Last year we were top 10% hotels, but now we have got 8.5. So current year we are not in the top 10% list, we are in the top 25% list. This is going to be one of the good points. Don't you understand this? See here. Last year we got 8.9, something around 9. If we round off, something around 9. So that means last year we were in top 10%. We were in the top 10 list. But now, due to lesser satisfaction to the customer, we have got 8.5 score, and now we are not in the top 10 list. Like if I usually visit somewhere, I write top 10 hotels and I visit any of them. But now I'm not in top 10 hotels. Now I'm in top 25. That means our KPI, our significant performance indicator, is majorly declined. This point is going to earn us 4 to 5 marks. This point is going to earn us 4 to 5 marks. Understood? Understood? Now see, the customer comments have been given to us. 3 themes have become increasingly frequent in the comments customers given alongside their scores. See, customer recent having to wait to check in their rooms, and several have asked whether Zilber could implement automated check-in process. See, I found something about disruptive technology, like the customers hate waiting for check-in. When you go to a hotel after attending a lengthy flight, you need just to go on the room on the bed. And now what Zilber do? Zilber asks them to wait for the check-in. And now the customers want automated check-in. Like in the flights now, there's automated boarding. Now you do not need to go on to the flight 1 hour earlier. You are automated boarding through your mobile. You can go just a half and 15 minutes earlier and go directly in the plane. The customer also wants to avoid avoid manual check-in, and they want automated check-in. So this is also a point of disruptive technology, that their customer wants automated check-in, which is because of bad customer satisfaction, because of the reason the customer satisfaction is declined mainly because of automated check-in. We can write this. They don't have automated check-in. And similarly, see, customer who have stayed in Zilber hotels before have commented that standard of service in recent visits has not been as good as earlier visits. Bhai, oh brother, see, they haven't. The major customers are saying you are not same. You are not same as we earlier, as from the earlier visits. You are changing and you are on a declining phase. This has also contributed in bad customer satisfaction. This has also contributed in a bad customer satisfaction. The rooms would benefit from redecorating and some of the fixtures and fittings need to be replacing. Oh, customer said that your rooms need redecoration. Your rooms need redecoration. Benefit from new mattresses to improve the level of comfort they provide to guests. They need new rooms. They need new fixture and fittings. So, guys, after all this, we understood that satisfaction scores are declined mainly because of bad check-in process. Further, customers are commenting that our quality of service is declined, is not same as the previous visits, and we need some capital expenditure. Our fixture and fittings are old, our bed are old, and we need some improvement, huh? See now what they have to say. Zilber had originally planned a 2-year refurbishment program beginning in 2007, in which all of its hotel rooms would be refurbished. Okay, now they have planned for the refurbishment on. However, this program has been delayed due to the economic conditions, and now they have delayed their refurbishment. Customers are regularly asking for the refurbishment, but now we have delayed our refurbishment. This has also contributed in lesser customers. This has also contributed in decline in business customers, because we are not maintaining ourselves, we are not refurbishing ourselves. We had a refurbishment activity planned, but we have delayed due to economic conditions, and our customers are regularly commenting on the refurbishments. To see how many points we have got. We have got points on revenue, we have got points on other revenue, food and drink, we have got points on discounts, we have got points on operating profit, we have got significant points of customer satisfaction scores. So at least 12 points need to be made, and also linking it from the exhibits 1 information. This is what planning means. This is what planning means. Did you understood that? Did you understood that? Perfect. See now, what I believe our first requirement is planned. However, I have not written the pointers of exhibit 2 here, but I have got a couple of points on revenue. I've got a couple of points of revenue on discounts. I've got points on ROS also, on capex also. I've got point on profits and major points on satisfaction of customers. Now my complete first requirement is planned. Now it's just I have to attempt it well. Considering the analysis skills, I'll let you know how analysis skills are being considered, and that's it. You'll able to get 12 to 13 marks in this. You'll able to get 12 to 13 marks in this. See, this is how you need to plan the SBL. What I want, I need to go through the complete question now. We are going to go through the complete question now, and then we are going to attempt the answer. Okay. It will take our 2 to 3 classes also. Now, exhibit 3. What was here? What was here? It was a acquisition. I found an acquisition. I have read the requirement. I have read the requirement. An acquisition is there. It's a strategic decision. And see, I've told you in classes, I've told you in theory classes that strategic decision can be tackled through a model named SFA, yeah, SAF, suitability, feasibility, exhibility. But what a student think, sir, that SAF is mandatory? No, beta. No, son. This is not, no, brother. This is not mandatory. You want to use, you want your answer to be structural, you want the headings of the model, you can use, but it's not mandatory to use a model. If you want to write general by yourself, just reading the data and making the pointers, that's it. Just reading the data and making the pointers, that's it. You do not need to use the model. But if you know a model, you can use. It's not mandatory. And who have told us the second requirement was to suggest whether we should go for this acquisition or not. If you remember the requirement, see the memory power is important. You need to remember the requirement before reading the exhibit. You should know for what you are going to read this exhibit. Okay. Now, email from CEO to directors of Zilber potential acquisition. Our strategic review earlier this year identified profitable expansion as one of Zilber's key objectives, and our shareholders are becoming increasingly vocal about their desire of a business to grow. Our shareholder wants us to grow. So one of the reason to acquire is shareholder wants us to grow. Bhai, shareholder wants us to grow. We can make a point now that in acceptability phase, what does acceptability means? The acceptability means, I'll learn you, I'll make you understand the SFA framework before attempting this requirement. Don't you worry about that. But acceptability means that what does this acquisition sound suitable to the shareholders, and our shareholders are crazy. Don't use the word crazy in the exam. I'm just helping you understand. Wants us to grow. Our shareholders wants us to grow. Okay, our shareholders wants us to grow. So this could be a 1 point. So this could be a 1 point. To date, Zilber has grown organically. Zilber up till now has grown organically by making branches, by making different branches, but they haven't grown through acquisition. So they do not have an experience. We can make it a feasibility point. We can make it a feasibility point. For suppose this shareholder point can be used in acceptability and feasibility. In feasibility, we can use no experience in acquisition. We do not have an experience in acquisition, so we might not have the resources also. We need to see now. We need to see. Similarly, where we have identified list of desirable locations where we would like to open new hotels, but there are currently no suitable properties. Okay, they wanted to grow and they wanted to open another branch, but they do not find any suitable property. They do not find any suitable property. Okay, now I have learned, however, I've learned from small privately owned chain of hotels, Harvest company is coming up for sale because of the majority owners are looking to retire. Okay, so they have got an option to acquire Harvest. They have got an option to acquire Harvest. The majority of Harvest owns 10 hotels. Okay, they are smaller than us. We have 35 hotels. They have 10 hotels. Comparison also is done on acquisition. So they are smaller than us. 4 of these are in town, and with the other 6 are in rural hotels. See, 4 are in town. but the other 6 are in the rural areas. We don't know whether they are in a profit side or not. We don't know whether they are in a profit side or not, because they are in rural areas. Harvest Company hotels have 4-star rating like Zilber. See, it's a suitability point. It's a suitability point. It's a suitability point that they have similar 4-star rating. They have similar 4-star rating for us. They have similar 4-star rating. Okay. The majority Harvest guests are leisure travelers. Hey. They do not have business. They do not have business travelers. Yeah, they have less business travelers, but our prime focus is business travelers. So now this point can be used. This point can be used in suitability. They are leisure travelers, usually prefer Harvest. So we have a chance. We have a chance to gain market, to gain market of leisure travelers. But we can also write this point that this acquisition isn't sound suitable, as leisure travelers are not our prime customers. So we might not be able to satisfy them. We might not be able to satisfy them. So in both heads, this point can be used. In both heads, this point can be used. And many of them choose to stay in Harvest hotels because they have a charm and character which is not found in contemporary hotel design. So see, we haven't experience of leisure hotels, and their customers are their leisure customers are usually because of their hotel designs and all that, and we haven't experience of the acquisition and of the leisure customers. So there is a problem. We might face difficulty. We might face difficulty. Feasibility may, we might face difficulty in satisfying leisure travelers. Understood? We might face difficulty in satisfying leisure travelers. See, however, and further, sir, funds are required for acquisition. Now, see, I got 1 point. I got 1 point generally. Funds are required. Where are the funds from? We do not know. We do not have funds. We do not have much funds. We delayed our capex. We delayed our expenditure because of shortage of funds now. So how we are going to get funds from? How we are going to get funds from for acquisition? We delayed our expenditure. We delayed our expenditure due to economic conditions, but the funds can one of be the reason. So for acquisition, where are funds to be from? Where are funds coming to be from? This could be a problem. This could be a problem. And see, however, due to lack of capital expenditure from current owners, some of hotels are relatively in poor condition. Oh my goodness, what I can say, we lack funds. We have to work on our capital expenditure, and now we have got an option to buy a hotel and to pay funds to their owners, and also to work on their capital expenditure also, because some of their hotels also require capex. Do we have such greater amount of funds? We need to see now. We haven't got information of the funds we have, but do we have such funds, or we are going through debt finance or equity finance? We do not know anything. There's a much limited data here. They have also hotels in rural areas where usually business customer travels. We do not know. So guys, did you understood how I analyze this requirement? And I've got such points, so I can easily write 6 to 8 points in here. Now what they want, I would keen to get your thoughts about this acquisition, and now they are keen to get our Now they're keen for getting our response. Hey guys, is this clear to you? Now, this is an easy requirement also, like using SFA, and we have got much of data here. We have got much of data here. So we could easily write here, huh? Just revise this exhibit. And if there's any question, you can ask. If not, so we can move on to the further exhibits. Okay, now exhibit 4, that was a meeting from the head of internal auditor and risk management policy. Risk management policy. See, they have given the risk register also. They have given the risk register also. So now the exhibit 4 we are going to read. The exhibit 4 we are going to read. And what was the requirement that was going to deal with exhibit 4? The requirement was to assess the risk currently included in risk register, and NAD is concerned. NAD have some concern in risk register, and you had a meeting with head of internal audit, and now you are going to assess the risk register. Means whether the risk stated in risk register are good, whether the risk, and is there any risk missed. See, there are skepticism skills now, so we are going to let them know that you have missed that skill also. You have also missed that particular skill also. So this will help us to show skepticism. This will help us to show skepticism. Understood? Now starting exhibit 4. This is basically the risk management policy, and we have also been given the NED's concern of our risk. There's an NED who has some concern, and we need to know what are the concerns he is facing, and we have to comment. We have to also, in this requirement, we have also to comment on risk policy. We have also to comment on risk policy, and strategic and business risk. See, has raised some concerns about strategic and operational risk. So we are going to make them know what is strategic and operational risk. A one-liner definition and the concerns of NED. See, exhibit 4, notes from the meeting with head of internal audit. Notes from the meeting with head of internal audit. Zilber risk management policy. Overview of Zilber's hotel internal audit and risk management system. See, the company's internal controls and risk management system are designed to help us to achieve our business objectives and protect our business. Okay. They have an internal controls which will protect our business. This relates not only to ensuring the safety and security of physical asset, people, systems, and process, but also Zilber's brand, reputation, and business model more generally, and our ability to respond effectively to the changes in marketplace. Okay, so they are primarily emphasizing on guarding the physical assets as well as guarding the Zilber's brand, business model, and if there are any changes in marketplace. So they have maintained this, that if there is any change in marketplace, then we should be able to deal with this. So I have a question. One of the customer in the earlier exhibit has said that the check-in process is lengthy. So there must be any other hotel which have done automated check-in. So why you are not working on automated check-in? If you have to respond effectively on the changes in the marketplace. So if market is going for automated check-in, see the skepticism. I've raised a concern. If you are saying that the market is rapidly, we have effectively monitoring the market. So why market is not getting, if market is going for automated check-in, so why you are not, if you have an eye on the market? So this is skepticism. This is how skepticism is applied. Now, key risk. It is vitally important that Zilber provides safe and secure environment for all the guests as well as our staff working in hotels. We have a safety environment. As such, we need to maintain high standards of health and safety across all of our hotels to ensure we have appropriate information and systems in place, and to identify and address any health and safety concerns. We regularly consult with our hotel managers to ensure the risks are identified and prioritized and improvement actions. And we are regularly working on the risk identified. Okay. Now they have a register. We summarize the key risk facing in business in our risk register. The register describes the key risk we face, identifies the controls and place to mitigate them. So they have worked on the controls also. We just need to see that whether is there any extra risk being included, or is there any risk which should not be included? I can let you have a look in a register detail if you want, but the risk areas covered in the register are, see, they have written the risk areas that are covered in the risk register. Guest safety. Okay, guest safety. There's a constant need to protect safety and security of our hotels and the guests staying in them. This underpins the whole risk management. So we have a risk of guest safety, that they must be safe. Security, they have highlighted the security as also the risk, that physical security and hotel buildings as well as individual rooms. Similarly, staff safety doesn't only relate to guests. We have also have staff safety procedures. So they have identified couple of risks. Technology. Oh, they say that we work on technology, but I haven't seen any work in the technology. We have a requirement of the disruptive technology also. So we are going to connect that requirement with this risk register also, that they say that we work on the technology risk, but still they haven't made automated check-ins. Okay. So technology has increased in the information available to the customers. Bookings is an important part of the guest experience. So we need to ensure that our booking process are efficiency. They are emphasizing on the booking process, but not on the check-in process. So skepticism, see the skepticism. I will say them that you are going to work on technology, but yet your data but yet your check-in process is not smooth as the customer wants. And information security also, like they have the details of the customers. Now, if some customers paid through cards and anything, so they have the details. Details and payment cards is held securely. So they have the details also. They have the details also. So now these are the risks. What was the requirement? That strategic and operational risk, and NED is concerned. I haven't got NED concern here. I haven't got any NED concern, but they have listed some risks. So try to identify any risk which is not here. The financial risk. We are also gonna comment on the financial risk. We are also gonna comment on the financial risk. Like they haven't included financial risk here. They haven't included financial risk here because they are going to do capex, capital expenditure. But after that capital expenditure, they are going to acquire some harvest hotels and all that. So there must be a financial risk here. Either they go for a loan, so interest burden will also come. They haven't highlighted financial risk. Skepticism. They haven't highlighted financial risk. They haven't highlighted brand and reputation. Their customers have declined. The customers have complained about the furbishments, about the furniture and fixtures. They haven't highlighted brand and reputation. They haven't highlighted brand and reputation. So we have got much points from here now. Now go and plan. We have got much points from here now. Now go and plan. First, we are going to differentiate between strategic and professional, and strategic and operational risk. Okay. After that, we are going to say, that they are saying we respond to the market, but yet responding to the market, our check-in is slow. This is also gonna be the first point. This is also gonna be the first point. Our check-in is slow. After that, we are going to say that risk register excludes. Why it excludes the financial risk? Why it excludes the brand and reputation risk? Why it excludes the brand and reputation risk? So this is the plan, and we have to make at least 6 to 8 points here. We are gonna make that. Don't you worry. So this was the question 3 plan. And see, the question 3B was disruptive technology. We are going to state the definition, and then it's totally general, or we can say specific to the hotel industry. We have to write specific to the hotel industry. And currently we only know the check-in process. It could be the check-in process, which is slow, and customers are really fed up of that. So we could comment on the check-in process. So we could comment on the check-in process. Now, the 5th requirement, which was particular to the Exhibit 5, the 5th requirement, which was particular to the Exhibit 5, was a fraud being identified, and we need to recommend controls. See, I remember the requirements. I need you to remember the requirements also. Remember the requirements also. So the Exhibit 5 is internal control issue. And the last question also wants us to identify the controls. First understand the fraud, and then you will comment on the controls. See, note an internal control issue. A fraud has recently been discovered in one of our hotels. The hotel manager had been encouraging customers to pay in cash by offering them small discounts of around 5% to 10%. See, the manager wants customer to pay the cash, and they are offering 5 to 10% discounts to them. However, he was recording the discount of maximum 25%. because he has an authority to the discount of maximum 25%. See, if a customer pay £100, he say pay in cash and pay £90. Like he give discount of 10%. Customer is happy that I got the discount. It's okay. Customer pay 90. But he record in books 75 as he say that I have offered the discount. I have offered the discount 25%. So that means the 15 pounds or 15 is 15 pounds or $15 are taken by the manager. This is the fraud he's been doing. And if couple of managers have been doing this is also the reason of the excessive discount. See, the first requirement I'm going to write in my planner. That discounts mainly have increased because of the fraud being done. Like the customer have been given the less discounts, but our discounts are recorded more as the differential amount is being taken by the managers. The differential amount is being taken by the managers. See, the manager's wife worked on the front desk of the hotel, so received the money from the customers. She provide false invoices to them. And see, this is the collaborated fraud. The manager offers the discount, and his wife offers invoices, fake invoices. So collaborated fraud it is. The manager and his wife both have been dismissed now. They are fired, and we have not yet worked out how much they stole, and we do not exactly know how much they stole. They have been doing this from the past. More importantly, we will be reviewing our internal controls. Okay, now tell me how you are going to mitigate this fraud. The first answer: avoid dealing in cash. Why you are dealing in cash? Ask your customer to pay through the card or through the bank accounts. We are not going to deal in cash. So if there is not a cash, so there won't be the fraud of cash. Further, what another control you can write here? Just think. What another control you can write here, guys? That avoid hiring related parties. So if a husband and wife are connected, don't hire husband and wife in a company. Don't hire brother and sister or brothers in a company. Don't hire mother and son in a single company, so that this collaboration cannot be done easily, because they both don't know each other. So related parties should not be hired. Similarly, internal audit to review the cash transactions. The cash transactions should regularly be reviewed by internal audit. The duties should be segregated. Like discounts offered should be by other person. The discount input in the system should be done by other person. Segregation of duties. Related parties should not be hired. Cash transactions should be avoided. Internal audit should perform regular procedures on the cash transactions. So these are the valid controls. For this fraud. And that is how our planning and complete question reading is done. This is my planner. I have written there, so I'm copy pasting here. So this is my questions for plan, and this is how my planning and my planner and my exhibit reading is done. And now I have a plan. I've gone through the complete question. I have a plan. I've gone through the complete question, and I'm going to attempt the question. Understood? Is there any problem? I hope this session has helped you at least in a manner of planning, that how to do plan, how to analyze, how to think in SBL, how to work in SBL. I hope this has satisfied. I hope this has enabled you to be an effective planner in exam. I know I have taken much time to teach you, but this is the skill which I need in you. I'm going to write the complete answer with you. Don't you worry. I'm going to write the complete answer, but the planning is the most important thing. Therefore, I have taken much time in this. Understood? If there's any question, you can ask. If there's any question, you can ask. I hope you guys haven't slept in the class, because I know sometimes becomes boring, but I have a hard voice. Huh? So any of the student, if listen my voice, he cannot sleep. I know. Okay. So it's all from now. In the next class, we are surely going to do this question, but we are surely going to write in this question. Okay. I'm pausing the recording so you all guys can unmute your mics. Assalamu alaikum, all of you. Hope you all are fine. In the last session, we discussed Zilber Hotels. We completely read the question. We made a planner that what we are going to attempt, what are the requirements we are going to attempt. And now we are going to draft an answer. We are going to review an answer. We are going to draft an answer with us so that we could know how we should write in SBL exam. The major lacking in SBL exam students does is that they don't do any writing practice. So they don't do any writing practice, and therefore they badly collapse in SBL examination hall because they haven't written any question with themselves. And see, in my first class, I have told all of you that you have to write 3 to 4 questions by yourself and get it checked by me so that we could perform well in exam. So at least the key to pass the SBL is to perform, to write as many as questions you can. And similarly, once you have done 2 to 3 questions with me, I would encourage you, I would force you, I would tease you to write the questions and write the answers and get it checked by me. So that would help you to pass SBL exam. Okay. So now here we are with the Zilber Hotels. This was the planner we made. See, I've told you to highlight major things in the questions, like what role you are given, like what marks you are given. So the marks will decide the points you have to write, the format you are going to give, and the professional skills. Okay. And this was the planner we made. I hope you all revised the last class. And these were the questions which we are going to attempt. The first question was the easiest one, which require us to write a board report which analyzes Zilber Hotel performance. To write the board report which analyzes Zilber Hotel performance in 2007, which includes both financial, like we have to comment on the financial ratios, we have to comment on the earning capacity of the hotel, and we have to write on non-financial aspects also. Like non-financial aspects will include the occupancy rate. Non-financial aspects will include the environmental concern. If there is any environmental issue done by the hotel, then we are going to comment on that. So both of the heads require us to draft the financial and non-financial performance of the Zilber Hotels, and we have made a lot of pointers. Like we can write a lot of points in this. This is one of the easy requirement we are going to attempt. Zilber is an easy question, and this is one of the easy requirement we are going to attempt. Now, how much point we decided to write? We decided that at least we would go for 16 to 12 points. We decided that at least we will go for 12 to 16 points. I hope you have reviewed the question. You have done this with me, and I just want you to briefly revise the exhibits, so you exactly know that where I am getting the data and from where I am going to write the question answers. See, so this is the answer of Zilber Hotels. This is written by me. Okay, see, I have number of answers of every question. This is written by me, and now we are going to learn how I have written this answer. See, I have written complete answer so that we could discuss. Okay, the first question, again, I am making you remember. The first question is comment on financial and non-financial performance. The comment on financial performance is easy. You have done this in F5, you have done this in F7, you have done this in F9 also. You know how to write the financial performance. The major indicator of financial performance, is revenue, profits, discounts. These were the major heads which we are going to write now. So see, in revenue, we are going to comment. We have a revenue head here. We have a another head names operating profit and margins, which will cover the profitability. See, I have to write on financial figures now. I have to write on financial figures. So I'll decide what are the financial indicators on which I can write. And similarly, rows, rows was given, so we could write on rows. I would request you to open the question along with you, so that I have my question in my iPad, but I would request you to open the question in if you have got this printed out, or if you have got this in mobile, just open it so that you could exactly remember from where I'm getting the point. Okay, customer satisfaction scores were given. See, now we are going to comment on revenue. Now, from where I'm going to get the point, I'm going to use exhibit 2 mainly, as I've asked you to highlight the exhibits. Like from the examiner will give you a chance that the one particular requirement will mainly be answered from one particular exhibits or two particular exhibits. So highlight the exhibits so that you could easily attempt the answer. And see, revenue, the revenue has increased from budget and increased from previous year. But we know why the revenue has increased, because we have offered significant discounts. Therefore, and since our economy was collapsing, and therefore we have offered significant discounts, and the discounts were approved by the managers. The manager used to give the discounts. These were the highlights from the question. Remember, now we are going to use this. See, the increase in gross room revenue rates have increased compared to prior year because of higher occupancy rates and increase in standard room prices. The two major reasons. Keep it simple. Examiner will understand. You are not the examiner, you are the student. Examiner does not expect you to write like him. He is a professional examiner. He have experience of 12 plus years. He have checked number of exams. He don't expect you to write like him. He wants you to write like a student, and the student will comment just like this, that the revenue has increased because of two major factors, such as occupancy rates, such as standard room prices. Go on the exhibit and check. Yes, the occupancy rates have increased. The occupancy rates have increased, and the standard room prices have also increased, and the standard room prices have also increased. So therefore, our revenue has increased. But now continue from here. You cannot decide anything on looking at the revenue. If the hotel has more expenses, then it will be a net loss. So you cannot decide, you cannot invest by seeing anything in the revenue. Like I'm going in a stock market, and if I have no any company's revenue, I will not invest but just looking on the revenue. See, therefore I have written here, however, looking at the gross room revenue might be misleading impression. as it appears that occupancy rates have been achieved by giving significantly high discount. The occupancy rates have been achieved by giving significantly high discount. How they have increased their revenue? They have increased their revenue by getting maximum occupancy rates. And how have they got significant occupancy rates? By giving discounts. So this one para is surely going to give you 2 to 3 marks, as you have mentioned the correct reason. As you have mentioned the correct reason. So you cannot decide anything on the revenue. So sir, how we are going to decide the performance? How we are going to decide the performance? See, this was the, see, now this chart is playing an important role here. This chart is playing an important role here. So we need to look at this chart very briefly. I'm just removing the highlighter from here so that we could easily see the chart. Now see, this is revenue before discount. Then these were the discounts being given compared to past years. This was the other revenue which has increased. We'll surely going to comment on that. Now, if we look at total revenue, the total revenue is declined from budget, although it has increased from past. Now, how total revenue is accounted, how total revenue is calculated? Total revenue is calculated by taking the gross revenue, deducting the discounts, and adding the other revenue. So if we comment on the gross revenue, it has increased from the budget. But if we comment on the net revenue, like deducting revenue after discount, calculating revenue after discount, it has declined. It has declined because significant discounts were given from the budget. Now, see here, calculate the percentages, that how much increase in discount was given, how much decrease in revenue we have faced. See here, revenue after discounts is below budget by 3.4% and higher than previous year by 2.6%. Revenue after discount is below the budget. Calculate the percentage, 3.4%, but higher than previous year. And you are aware of the market conditions. In the light of the market conditions, decision to increase price. See, they have increased the price now. They have increased the price now, 152, 150. They have charged 150. Previous year was 145. Market conditions are collapsing. The economy is in problem, and I don't know why they have increased the price. This is quite ambitious. That in light of market condition, decision to increase prices seems to be quite ambitious, as condition of the business seems to be moving in adverse direction. The business customers are reducing. The conditions of the market is not worth it, not good, not like you can make more profit. And in this situation, you have increased the price, which has really cautious effect. In the fact, economic conditions, dealing number of business customers, managers may have decided to lower room rates in order to try retain more business customers, thereby preserving rates. Yeah, this was the reason. Like that, there were tough economic conditions. Manager decided to give excessive discounts just to retain their business customers. So you are giving a very simple points. That is how you are going to pass the SBL, boy. That is how you are going to pass the SBL. Manager have decided to lower room rates by giving excessive discount. Manager have decided to lower room rates by giving discounts so that they could retain the rates. So we have number of things to comment on revenue. We have, and now we have the other revenue also, the foods and drinks revenue. See, additional revenue potentially becomes more important income stream. The other revenue, the additional revenue, the revenue we have earned from the food, drinks, and other activities, that is also more important in this particular situation where our main business is collapsing, where our main business is getting downstream. How additional revenue can be will be an important stream. Why? Because if someone is coming to stay in the room, we are going to give discount on the room prices, but we are not going to give discount on the restaurant. We are not going to give discount on the other earning activities. So we are going to get more profit from the additional revenue. And here, this is done. Additional revenue potentially becomes more important income stream. Even if guests are paying less for rooms, this shortfall can be coped up with additional food and drinks. This shortfall can be coped up. The shortfall you are getting in the hotel revenue can be coped up in additional food and drinks. So see, the number of points we have got from the revenue, the number of points, this was the good point, this was the 1 mark point, the 2 marks, the 2 marks. These are the points we are going to get from the revenue. This is an answer which an examiner wants from you. Now, where is Zilber successful? Where is Zilber successful? Just tell me, is Zilber successful in major revenue, or is Zilber successful in other revenue? The Zilber appears to be successful in other revenue streams as sale of drinks and foods is on increasing trend. They have exceeded previous year sales by 5%, have also exceeded the budget. Why they have increased? Because in order to save the occupancy rates, the manager gave the discount. The more customers attracted because of discount, the occupancy rates got saved. But now they have to eat, they have to drink, they have to do other luxurious things in the hotel. So they paid for that, and therefore our other revenue increases. 3, managers and staff should be encouraged to promote spending in these areas. Also, incentive scheme should be introduced. Since we are getting more important income, since we are getting more income from the other revenue, other additional revenue, so manager and staff should be asked to promote these areas. Like if someone is coming for stay, the manager and the staff should encourage them to, sir, please visit our restaurant, please have a meal from our side, so that the additional revenue will boom. So that the additional revenue will boom, and we have covered maximum points in revenue. Yeah, we got extra marks for recommendation. See, examiner haven't asked you for the recommendation, but I would request you, if you can recommend any good thing, you should do. If you can recommend any good thing, you should do. So these are the pointers we are going to use for revenue, and these all were discussed in the class. Remember, I'm giving you 5 minutes just to review all the pointers, all the points of revenue. I have nothing, I haven't used any point from my side. I've taken this from the scenario which we discussed in the earlier class. Whenever you can give the recommendation, I would request you to give recommendation. I would really request you to give recommendation, as recommendation will make your answer professional. The examiner will know that you know that what are the market norms, and if your recommendation is appropriate, that would support your answer. Nah? So if possible, try to give recommendation. Okay, now we have commented on revenue. Now come back to the margins, and you exactly know that our margins are sacrificed. You exactly know that our margins are sacrificed. Operating profit and margins are sacrificed. Why they are sacrificed? Why they are sacrificed? Because of the discounts given. Because of the discounts given. Okay. So now operating profit margin. Despite the increase in revenue, operating profit have declined by 5.4%. Now go on the chart, just open this chart with you and see the operating profit. This has declined. The operating cost has increased from the budget and from the past year. Just calculate the percentages, and that would help you. See, despite the increase in revenue, operating profit have declined by 5.4% below previous year and 19.9% below budget. Now, just see, the management has estimated such a high budget that our actual performance is below 20% of the budget. And why this has happened? The major reason seems to be discount offered, but also increasing costs have declined profit. The two major reasons which has impacted our profitability, profitability, that is cost which has increased and discounts we have been given. In an increasingly competitive market. See, the Zilber is operating in a competitive market. And they have one particular segment to tackle. They have business customers. So in increasingly competitive market, cost control is highly important. Although they have given the discount, but there is a valid justification of giving the discount, is that our economy is collapsing, the business customers are declining. So in order to achieve the occupancy rates, we have given discount. But okay, that's a valid justification. But why the cost has increased? Haven't the cost control procedures in place? Cost control is very important and highly important in competitive market. And operating cost in 2007 is higher than 5.4% from previous year. The operating cost in 2007 is higher than by 5.4%, from previous year. And therefore, our margins have declined. We have concluded here that operating margin have also declined from 17.5%. See, this was the operating profit, and because of this, our operating margin have also declined from 17.5% to 15.9%. Major reason seems to be the cost and the discount. Okay, now if you remember that they have some KPIs, What were the KPIs? The customer satisfaction scores. The customer satisfaction scores were the KPIs, and we And occupancy rates, yeah, occupancy rates and the customer satisfaction score were the KPIs, if you remember. So how they have performed here, if we could just see, I exactly remember that they have got occupancy rates, but the satisfaction scores have led them from the top 10% companies to top 25% companies, from the top 10% companies to 25 to top 25% companies. They have lost their score here. They have lost their score. See, I have written this. Apparently, operating profit margin and customer satisfaction score are Zilber's KPIs. It appears that Zilber has sacrificed margins. Now see the comment I am going to give. The comment I am going to conclude the picture. They have sacrificed the margins to get the rates. The two KPIs were profits and satisfaction scores. Profits and satisfaction scores. They have sacrificed the profits to get the occupancy rates. Why the profits are declined? Because they have to go for either they can go for the profit or the occupancy rates. They have reduced their profitability just to get the occupancy rates. They have reduced their profitability just to get the occupancy rates. Understood. So these 4 paragraphs are surely going to give you at least 6 to 7 marks, at least 5 to 7 marks. Yeah, I remember one thing. We haven't looked the format that was asked for. The format was draft extract of a board report. It was not the report we need to go. It was not the report that we need to go completely. It was draft report. And draft report, how draft report is started, that extract of board report. You just need to mention the heading that this is an extract of a board report, and you have to write the answer, and that is how your extract of a board report is started. It's not the report. In report we have to make the format and all that, but if there's an extract of a board report, you just write the heading extract of a board report and go on writing. Now in the financial perspectives, we have got 2 major heads. In the financial perspectives, we have got 2 major heads, revenue and margins. Now since we have covered major points here, it's not important to write more in financial head because we have got number of points covered. But I have written an additional point, as I have asked you that if you have time, if you know an extra point, just write maximum points. If you know I can pass by writing 10 points, I would request you to write at least 11 to 12 points. Go on a safe side. If you have time. I'm not saying that write the maximum points in a question so that your last question you cannot attempt. No, I'm not asking you to do that. But if you have one additional point, you remember and you know that can give you the marks, that could give you the professionalism required in the question, just write that. And similarly, I have written on the rows also. Now go on the rows. See, rows has declined. Okay, from the budget and from the actual previous year performance. Sorry, rows has declined from the budget and from the actual previous year performance. What were the reasons? The major reason is profitability, and the other reason could be the capital employed. That they have just exactly remember that they have a planned refurbishment program. The last paragraph, they have a planned refurbishment program. They need to refurbish, but that was not done. That was not done due to economic conditions, and they need to reduce the expenditure. So they haven't invested further. They haven't got their capital employed up. The capital employed is same, but the profitability is declined. Therefore, your ROAS has declined. In fact, if they have invested, in fact, they have invested. If they had invested, their ROAS would fall further because their capital employed have increased. See, I have written this. ROAS appears to be declining from previous year at 42.8% from 48.3%. It should be noted that this decline is purely from profitability, as we haven't done any refurbishment. If we did that refurbishment further, the ROAS will fall further. And see, that has written. This is an additional point that it should be noted that the Zilber is yet to perform an expenditure exercise which will increase its capital employed, leading to further fall in ROAS. It will increase its capital employed. That would lead to further fall in ROAS. It is increased. It is to note that if they have done the refurbishment and the cost will increase their capital employed, and then the ROAS will fall further. The one reason of falling ROAS is profitability, and if you did the refurbishment, it will hit your ROAS also. It will hit your ROAS also. Understood? So they were the primarily financial pointers we could use in this answer. There are number of more answers. Yeah, there are number of more pointers we could use, but that's enough for the question, as we also have non-financial factors. Okay, there's one question. Yeah, that's really a brilliant point one student has raised, that occupancy. But just remember, the occupancy rates haven't declined. Occupancy rates are as per the budget and as per previous year. Just remember that the occupancy rates have been achieved. The customer satisfaction scores have declined. The customer satisfaction scores have declined mainly because we haven't done refurbishment and we did not meet the expectation of the customer. So you could just remember that. You see that the occupancy rates have been achieved by giving excessive discounts. The satisfaction have declined, and which I'm going to use this point in my non-financial heads. See now, non-financial factors. Now, customer satisfaction is one of the important non-financial factor. Any other non-financial factor if given, we can write, but apparently the non-financial factor have customer satisfaction scores also. Only. Okay, the non-financial factor can be environmental concerns, but there is no discussion on environmental concerns here. There's no discussion on environmental concerns here. Okay, so now what we are going to write on satisfaction, here's the answer, that customer satisfaction scores are also KPIs of Zilber, and if reduction in profitability is a concern, then bad customer scores are also greater concern. See, the bad customer scores are greater concern. If reduction in profitability is a concern, then customer satisfaction scores are greater concern, because our profitability depends on customer satisfaction. The score suggested that within 1 year, now the key point, the paper passing point, the main point, that within 1 year, Zilber moved from top 10 to top 25 hotels, getting rating in the 8.5. That's major reduction. And we have discussed how we are moved from top 10 to top 25. In a 1 year tenure, the last year, you were in the top 10 companies, top 10 hotels, and now in a period of 1 year, you are top 25. You have lost the top 10 positions in a period of 1 year. And why does that happen, guys? Why does that happen? Because you have delayed the refurbishment. You are not meeting the expectation. You can continue your point from here. You can continue your point from here, and you can easily get 3 to 4 marks from here. You can continue your point from here, and you can exactly get 2 to 3 marks from here. Okay. Now, see, I've written this here. I've written, but more briefly, more widely. The factors, what are the factors customer decide to stay in a hotel? Like if you are going in a hotel, then what are the factors you are going to decide? The factors customer decide is to stay in hotel is quality and comfort. One of Zilber customers commented on comfort. We seen bad comments also. We have seen the bad customer feedbacks also. Like here, recent the check-in problem we have, which we are going to use in the disruptive technology. See, that standard of service has not been as good as earlier visit. You are not as good as earlier visit. You are not as good as earlier visit. So see now that Zilber customers commented on comfort following satisfaction scores. I'm using one customer's comment reference here that we are not up to the mark. Further, satisfaction score seems to be that Zilber is not up to the mark in comfort and quality, which is enabling customers to not recommend Zilber to their friends and family. And therefore, they are not recommending you. They are not recommending you. Why? Because you are not up to the mark. And if any customer has bad comment, once he'll back to his home, he won't recommend to his neighbors that we have stayed in Zilber hotels and you should also visit there. They won't say that. In fact, they will say that don't go to Zilber. And that has happened. And why does this happen? The refurbishment program, which can improve quality, is deferred for short term due to lack of investment. But lack of investment is likely to be for a long-term issue. Lack of investment is a long-term issue. It's not the short term. Understood? Understood. If there's any question, you can ask. Hey guys, is there any questions from the first requirement? See, I have written more than we are required to write. I have written more than we are required to write, but just to get maximum points. I've done this just to get maximum points. I've done this. If you want to review, you can review the customer satisfaction scores so that we can move on to next requirement. So that we could move on to next requirement. Okay, guys, shall we move on to next question? The next question, the favorite, the suitability, feasibility, and acceptability framework is used. You don't need to copy the answer. I'll share the PDF with you. Don't worry. You don't need to copy the answer. I'll share the PDF with you. Shall we go on to the next question? Again, I'm saying once you have done my answers, then you have to read the examiner answer. I'll tell you how you have to read the examiner answer. Don't you worry. I'll tell you how to read the examiner answer. Now see, the next question is the finance director has forwarded you the CEO's email about strategic opportunity of Zilber, that they were going to acquire the Harvest Hotel. I remember they were going to require the Harvest Hotel, and such as an acquisition and business making requirement. So such requirement requires you to use suitability, feasibility, and acceptability framework. I am again saying that that's not the rule of law. That's not the law that you have to use the framework. You can write but just starting by headings, but I would request that if any framework can be used, try using that. If any framework can be used, try using that. So here we have made some pointers, that in suitability we could say that the 4-star rating, leisure travelers, so it could open us us for the market of leisure travelers. We have a market of business customers now. We haven't have much market of leisure customers. So by acquiring that, we could open the doors for the leisure customers. Feasibility, as we have no experiences in acquisition, we have grown by organic growth. We haven't got any acquisitions experience. We haven't as an financial resources also. We don't have financial resources. We have delayed our refurbishment program. We don't have funds for that. Then how we are going to arrange funds for this if we don't have funds for that? And similarly, we delayed our expenditure for acquisition also. We delayed our expenditure, and similarly, few difficulty in satisfying leisure travelers. See, if there is a business traveler now, it would require less quality, as he has some work. He'll come, your hotel, go, he'll perform his meeting, he'll do his seminars, and he'll go. But leisure customers requires more quality, the more theme they want, as they have came here to enjoy. So to satisfy leisure customers, it's more difficult than business customers, as they haven't got any work to do. They are here just to enjoy. And in acceptability, we could use the point that shareholder wants us to grow. In questions, our shareholders were asking us to grow. We haven't grown much, and they were asking us to grow. So these are the points we are going to use. The format in this question was briefing paper, I guess. The format in this question was briefing paper, I guess. And see, the briefing paper has a very simplest format. Okay. Now the skill that was required in previous question was of analysis, but in this question is evaluation. See, in analysis, you have to use numbers, you have to use data from here and there, and you have to connect the points from here and there. But in evaluation, you have to go on pros and cons. This is the skill, like write benefits and write demerits. The benefits and demerits. In particular situation, in particular question, I'm going to write more demerits than merits. I'm going to write more disadvantages because apparently they haven't funds. Apparently they are not capable of acquisition. So I'm going to write some benefits also, but the situation here asked me to discourage them. So in evaluation, I'm going to write the benefits and demerits also, like the disadvantages also, but majorly the disadvantages can be used as the scenario is not allowing us to acquire this particular hotel. So, and what we are here, we are management accountant. Just remember your role. Just remember all this. Why I have concluded this all here. Just remember all this. That briefing paper, evaluation is the skill, and we are going to write 10 points, 10 marks we have. So we are going to write 8 to 10 points. I am going to write more, but you can reduce the answer also. And we have to report to finance director. We have to report to finance director. So now moving on to our answer. So now moving on to our answer. Now, so how the format is used? See, simply the format of briefing paper is this: FAO equals to finance director. What does FAO means? FAO means for attention of. FAO means for attention of. It just requires you that FAO for attention of finance director and write your answer and write the heading and answer. That's just the briefing paper. Remember the skill you are going to use here. Remember the skill you are going to use here. That is that is opportunity to buy Harvest Hotels. The skill you are going to use here is opportunity to buy Harvest Hotel. Sorry, evaluation, and the heading we have here, opportunity to buy Harvest Hotels. Opportunity to buy Harvest Hotels. The framework: suitability, feasibility, acceptability. Suitability, feasibility, acceptability. Okay. Now, what we are going to write in suitability? What we are going to write in suitability? See, the opportunity to acquire Harvest Hotels might initially seem beneficial. Apparently, it's attracting. How to start any answer? Apparently, it's good. Apparently, it's attracting because it could provide as a source of growth, which we and our shareholders are looking. Moreover, Harvest Hotels is also a 4-star rating. So it apparently seems suitable. It apparently seems suitable as we are required for growth. We are required for growth. Our shareholders wants us to grow, and we have got a similar hotel with us. We have got some similar hotel with us. So apparently it's suitable. But there are some differences between Zilber and Harvest, which we should note prior making a decision. We have some differences, we have, although we are good, but we have some differences. What are the differences? Sir, the target market is the main difference. The target market is the main difference. Harvest Hotel seems to have different target market. Zilber's main focus is to entertain business customers, business travelers, whereas the prime market is leisure customer. The prime market of Harvest Hotels is leisure customer. not the business customer. The prime market of Harvest Hotels is leisure customer, not the business customer. Similarly, 6 out of 10 hotels of Harvest are in rural areas, the rural areas. Okay, so if we acquire Harvest, we have 6 hotels in rural areas where there are no business customers. The people go to those areas to just enjoy, to just have a good weekend, to just have a good days. So the business customers are not going to travel those rural areas where business customers are difficult to travel, where business customers are difficult to travel. So why there's difficult in travel? As they are rural areas, they are the enjoyment areas, not the business areas. That's not the business areas. So apparently it's suitable, but there are differences, the major differences of the target market. And then an important issue is to consider the purpose of acquisition. Since Zilber found Zilber haven't found any suitable building to grow organically. The question states that since we haven't got any building to grow organically, like to open any other branch of Zilber, so what we are doing? We are acquiring a other brand, since we didn't got any building. Now, this doesn't seem to be the driver of the acquisition. This doesn't seem to be a valid justification of an acquisition. So since we did not found any building to grow organically, so we are going to grow through acquisition. So this reason is not sufficient. This seems to be the main driver of acquisition, which is not sufficient, which cannot be a valid reason. Which cannot be a valid reason to grow through acquisition. Like, this cannot be a valid reason to grow through acquisition. So apparently it seems suitable on a first eye, on a bird eye view, it seems suitable. But since there are different target markets, the hotels are in rural areas, so we are not going to get business customers there, and we haven't got any experience. The experience point can be used in feasibility. See, the experience point can be used in feasibility. But one thing, see, in this report, strategic logic of acquiring Harvest seems to be relatively weak. I have discussed this earlier. The logic behind acquiring Harvest is weak, as we have different target market. Alternatively, this can be argued that by acquiring Harvest, Zilber will gain a diversified market. This is evaluation, the positive and the negative. This is evaluation. Like, the logic behind acquisition is weak, as we haven't got any building. So therefore we are going to grow organic acquisition through acquisition. However, alternatively, it can be argued that the acquiring Harvest, Zilber will gain more diversified market. So this is evaluation. I hope you now understood how to apply evaluation. Now, what are the points in feasibility? The feasibility is very easy. Like, you have to ask yourself that whether we have resources to continue this business expansion. Do we have any experience? Do we have the people? Do we have the funds? No. So right here, that since acquisition requires resources such as price and further expenditure, a major hurdle for Zilber seems to be funds. As if the acquisition is done, Harvest Hotels require a further refurbishment. Now see, what's the story here? We have delayed our refurbishment. Because we don't have funds. Now we are going to acquire a hotel, And we know by acquiring that, we have to invest there, and further we also have to invest on their refurbishment also. So it's a double investment, huh? You have to acquire, and then you have to done the refurbishment also. The Harvest Hotel requires further refurbishment. It should be noted that Zilber had delayed their refurbishment. So how they are going to do Harvest refurbishment? And we haven't got any price, so that we could not comment on the price. We haven't got any price, so that we cannot comment on the price. Huh? We haven't got any price. Now, till now the experience talk. Here we are going to talk about the experience. Till now, we have grown. We have grown organically, which suggests acquisition might not be the option to pursue. The acquisition might not be the option to pursue. Acquisition requires expertise to get successful. Acquisition requires expertise. This is a general line you can use in every situation. This is a general line you can use in every situation. So acquisition requires expertise to get successful. It consider inherent risk, which is increased for Zilber as its first acquisition for them. Risk appetite of management should be considered. How much risk they could take, this should consider. This should be considered, that how much risk they should take, how much risk they should take. So this is the feasibility here. We could comment on the funds also, but since we haven't got any quotation, so we are not going to use that. Now the acceptability. The acceptability similarly requires whether our shareholders are accepting this project or not. So shareholder demands are to grow, and they can easily accept this. They want us to grow, either organically, either acquisition, they just want us to grow. So therefore, any suitable option will be accepted. However, in financial analysis of Harvest Hotels will be given, a better elaboration of shareholders' response will be given. Yes, we haven't got any price. Huh? We are not given any price, so we cannot comment the shareholders' reaction here. Like if someone is given these hotels in $100, then why we are not going to buy that? If someone is going to give us this hotels in $100, then why we are not going to buy that? But if someone is giving these hotels in $1 trillion or $1 billion or $1 million, now this should be considered, whether we can take such appetite, we can take such risk, we had this appetite or not. So shareholders are going normally wants us to grow, but we haven't given any price, so we cannot exactly comment on the response of shareholder, as we did not know that whether this hotel is being offered in a very low price or very high price. So acceptability can be concluded here. We have to write 6 to 8 points, and I have written more than 8, which is good. Which is good. If you could revise the suitability, the feasibility, and the acceptability, the PDFs are with you, so that we can move on to our next requirement. Guys, we have used this point earlier. So it's unprofessional to use a similar point again and again. Like you can use twice or thrice. Yeah, you can use it twice. But if you have used that point, then I don't found it suitable that you can write that point again and again. That will lose your professional marks. See, we have seen that now we have uh, used that point here, the delaying of refurbishment. So by again using that here is kind of a concern for me. So I won't use, although in some situations I can use a point more than once, but not again and again. If I have any other point, if I have written maximum points, then why would I lose my professional marks? Then why would I lose my professional marks? It's written in an article. I'll share some SBL articles with you also. So it's written that try to avoid using uh, same pointers again and again. The major reason behind this that you will lose your professional marks here. Just a minute, I'll be back and we'll move on to our next question. Okay, now the next requirement. Now the next requirement we have it that to assess the risks currently included in Zilber's risk register, and we had a skepticism here. We had a skepticism here as the risk register first asked us to has see what was the requirement that NEDs has raised some concerns about the strategic and operational risk. So we decided in the earlier class that we will define what is strategic and what is operational risk, and then we will suggest that whether there's a risk register appropriately includes the risk they were looking for, the exact risk they are facing. We will discuss now that whether the exactly risk they are facing is included in the risk register. There was some missing risk also, if you remember. We have written it here that respond to the market is slow. Risk register does not include financial risk, the brand reputation which is declining up, the brand reputation which is declining. So there are some risks which are not up to the mark. We have strategic and we are going to define strategic risk and operational risk. But I would also write here that our response to the market is low. Like we have some bad comments, we have some issues of check-in, we are not responding to that. And further, the risk register does not include the financial risk our refurbishment got delayed. We are shorter of cash now, but that's the financial risk is not included. The reputation is at risk. The reputational concerns have arisen. Our customers are commenting bad for us, but the reputational risk is not included in the risk register. Open that exhibit also, the exhibit 4. This requirement can be attempted by exhibit 4. The skill is skepticism. So how to apply skepticism? By questioning, by challenging, by arguing. Now we are arguing now. We are here arguing that why your risk register does not include this. Why your risk register does not include this. This is skepticism. By probing, by challenging. Now we are challenging now that our response to the market is low. Why your response to the market is low? Why your response to the market is low? This is skepticism. Automatically, requirement will ask you to apply skepticism, and there haven't any format. There's haven't any format here. There haven't any format here. So no worries. Just this exhibit should be opened as our complete answer is going to be from here. As our complete answer is going to be from here. I hope you exactly remember the planning class of this exhibit. We have done really detailed. Now, risk register. Firstly, you have to define the strategic risk and the operational risk, because I personally believe that they are mainly focused on operational risk. So I'll first define the strategic and the operational risk. I'll first define the strategic and the operational risk. See, the strategic risk relates to the fundamental long-term decisions of Zilber takes, such as related to business model, business strategy, which creates ability for long-term. The environment in which Zilber operates. Strategic risk is a long-term risk. It's about the risk about strategies you are making, the business model you are following, the business strategies you are following, the ability of decision making. This is strategic risk. This is strategic risk. Whereas operational risk relates to day-to-day operations. It's your day-to-day risk, dealing with smooth processing of operations, dealing with smooth processing of options. Risk register includes some operational risk, such as security of hotels and guests and staffs. Remember, operational risk is day-to-day risk involved. That this risk is strategic risk, that it's about the business strategies and business models we are following, whereas the operational risk is day-to-day risk involved, dealing with guests to ensure smooth processing options. Now, apparently, risk register includes some operational risk, such as guest and staff's safety, security of hotels and guest and staff. This is an operational risk, because the security concerns are daily to daily concerns. It's not the strategical concerns, it's day-to-day operational concerns. So security of hotel staff, guests and staffs are operational risk. Now we defined the operational risk and strategic risk, how both risks are controlled. Write this. How it's an extra point. Examiner haven't asked us to write how we can control the operational or strategic risk, but since we got time, since we have less points in this answer, so we could write. Since we have got less points in this answer now, so we could write here that operational risk are typically controlled through internal control, but strategic risk are key part of board and they cannot be mitigated through controls. See, how to control strategic risk? By applying controls, like the security of guests and staff can be controlled by implementing CCTVs, by implementing guards, by implementing appropriate hotel staff. The risk can be minimized. But strategic risk cannot be controlled through controls. It can be mitigated through appropriate board strategy, appropriate decisions. It can be mitigated through appropriate decisions or appropriate strategy. Understood? See, as internal audit have identified, Zilber brand and reputation and ability to respond effectively to changes in marketplace seems to be key risk, however not included in the risk register. This is skepticism. This is skepticism. The head of internal audit, go on to the exhibit and see, that the head of internal audit, has found one risk. Zilber's brand and reputation and ability to respond effectively to changes in marketplace is a key risk. And if head of internal audit has found that, have if a head of internal audit has found that, then why this risk, then why this risk is not included, then why this risk is not included in this risk register? See, there haven't any risk mentioned by that, the brand and reputational risk which was mentioned by head of internal audit, then why it is not included in risk register? This is skepticism. This is skepticism. Okay, and further, an extra point which can be written here, that ability to respond to marketplace is also significant because Zilber's key customer area, that is business travelers, are declining, which indicates Zilber might not be able to meet their needs. Since our main ability to respond is slow, we are not responding as per mark. Our ability to respond is slow. Therefore, this is a major concern as our business customers are declining, because we are slowly responding. We are slow in responding. So that is a risk. That is brand and reputation and ability to respond to the customer needs is a risk which should be included in risk register. Now just see that in risk register, I have mentioned 4 points also. What are these 4 points? That as far as which register is concerned, it seems that focus on operational risk rather than strategic risk. Therefore, NED's concerns are right. See, NED have stated here, the NED's concerns were that our risk register does not include the strategic risk. The guest safety is operational risk. The security is operational risk. The staff safety is operational. The staff retention is operational. The technological risk is operational. The information security, they all are day-to-day risk. But the brand and reputation is strategic risk, which should be included. The brand and reputation is strategic risk, which should be included in here, and they haven't included. So NED's concerns are justified. He was worried about your risk register, and he is appropriately worried. The risk identified in risk register are significant and appropriate to be included in risk register. However, there are some other major risks which are not included here. Zilber is considering to perform an acquisition which may create financial risk, as Zilber have already delayed its capex, its capital expenditure. So Zilber is considering to perform an acquisition and they haven't got funds. So if they perform or if they refurbish, they are going to face the financial risk. Then why financial risk is not included here? Now, the concluding para which we are going to write here. The concluding para is considering the balance between strategic and operational risk. Some of the strategic risk highlighted should be considered and including in risk register. This is the conclusion. Huh? This is the conclusion. Considering the balance between strategic and operational risk, some of the strategic risk highlighted should be considered, including in risk register. That is how you are going to write on risk. Now, if you can see, I've written this point an extra point. I've written this in an extra point because I haven't got much point in the scenario. So something I have to write which is linked to the scenario. So there was discussion on the strategic and operational risk. So I briefly wrote an difference between strategic and operational risk. Then I have written here some controls that how to control that risk. Then I have written internal audits and NEDs concerned, internal audit and NEDs concerned. This is how I have tackled this requirement. So somewhere, if there is less data, you have to take notes from the questions that how you can lengthen your answer in a similar way, in a examiner's way, what examiners exactly want. He just wanted to analyze the risk register. But first I told him that strategic and operational risk in a two-liners definition, how to control those. Then HOD, head of internal audit, has commented on brand reputation. And we haven't included that reputation in risk register. Why? This is how skepticism is applied. We are not responding to the market as our business customers are declining. So that is also a risk to respond to the market, not included in the risk register. That is a concern. And this is how we have addressed. And this is how we have addressed. If there are any questions, you can ask. We exactly don't get the appropriate, accurate points, but we'll get some points if our answer is exactly to the requirement of the answer. Like he wants us to comment on the risk, but I have started from defining that what risk we are going to comment it on. And then I've connected HODs and NEDs concerned. So this is how we are going to get the point. But if someone just defines strategic and operational risk and then comments on the risk register that this risk was not included, this risk was included, so he won't get any point as his answer is not connected to the justifications made. See, NED was concerned regarding the risk of that we are not operational, we are not making strategic risk in our risk register. So I've connected this, and this is how we have got the points. But if you just write it general, that strategic risk is this, operational risk is this, and risk register, this risk is not included, this risk is included, which is a concern. So I guess you won't get any marks. But if you have connected your answer well, then you will get the marks. Now, the general requirement, the exact general thing for which no data was given, and that was for which no data was given, that was the B point, that is mentions that additional issue to consider, disruptive technology. And now what they want, they want us to make a slide. They want us to make a slide to be presented to the board, including relevant bullet points and supporting notes explaining what does disruptive technology is and highlighting potential impact of Silver. Now we have to define, we have to make a slide and notes. Okay, it's a format, and communication is C. Whenever the slide is asked, the communication skills are asked. Okay. Now, what we have to do, we have got 8 marks here, and we have to define disruptive technology. We have to define disruptive technology, and then what we have to do after defining disruptive technology, we have to comment on the impact of disruptive technology on Zilber. Then the impact. Now we haven't got any data. If you can see the planner, our planner is totally empty here. Like definition, we have definition. Okay, we have general specific to the hotel industry. We are going to write a bit general to the hotel industry, and then we got the check-in process. The check-in process was our bad, and customer wants an automatic check-in. So I just told you that we have got some hotels in today's day, they are going to get automatic check-in. Like you can just go in hotel, check in through your mobile, and go in your room. And similarly, we are moving towards the automatic key locks. Like first there were the keys to open the door. Now then there were the cards to open the door, and now I guess there are only fingerprints or your mobile or the QR codes, and you can open the door. So these are the things you can write here. See, I haven't got any point from the question, but I'm connecting to the hotel industry, because in hotel industry, these are the technologies which we found difficult. These are the technologies which can impact on other business. Now, what is disruptive technology? If you just need to define, disruptive technology is basically an sudden change in the market that have disturbed your business. And sudden change in the market or any new business has occurred that has disturbed your business, such as the Netflix. When the Netflix came, the Amazon Prime came, the market of the cinema got disturbed, as now all movies are on the fingertips. Every new movie is casted on Netflix. Now the market of cinema just got disturbed. So Netflix was a disruptive technology of cinema industry. Similarly to the hotel industry, the check-in process, the hotel that is giving us automatic check-in is disruptive technology for us, for Zilber. The hotel that is giving automatic mobile locks to the doors, automatic check-in process to the doors is disruptive technology. See, I'm connecting the hotel industry with this. I haven't got any data in the scenario, but I know about the hotel industry and the norms that are followed in the hotel industry, and that is to be known by you. Now, going on to the disruptive technologies definition. See now how you are going to make the slides. This slide and this format and the supporting notes, they are the format that will give you 2 marks. They are the format that will give you 2 marks, the professional 2 marks. And here we are going to use the pointers, and the pointers used here are going to be defined here. These are the professional marks. The pointers that you are going to use here, they are going to be defined here by you. Okay. So now, disruptive technology is technology helping to create new business model. Disruptive technology is technology helping to create new business model. Okay. This is the definition we are going to define here. I've just written up one liner in the notes, in the slide. Okay, then impact on hotel industry. The requirement was I have to comment on impact on hotel industry, and I have to comment on impact specifically on Zilber. First, I have to comment on impact on hotel industry, and then what are the impacts on specifically on Zilber. So the hotel industry, if disruptive technology has got by some person, then he can open up his hotel. If he have got some new business model of hotel, then he can open up a new hotel, so new competitors can arise by using the advanced technologies. New competitors can arise, and they can be important in the eye of customer. The factors they offer, if someone is offering automatic check-in process, if someone is offering automatic card locks, if someone is offering automatic payments, you don't need to pay through cash, just pay through your card when you are leaving, and they have properly applied the control procedures, so such that such things are going to impact. And what are the things going to impact on Zilber? Their occupancy level can be deteriorated. If someone arrived with the technology, the recent technology, then their occupancy level can be threat. Their customer value can be down. Their prices can be impacted. Zilber offers 150 per night with no automatic check-in. But if someone got automatic check-in and they are offering that in 120, so the customer will go there as they are. The customer will go to the new hotel as Zilber is expensive and less automated than the new hotel, which is cheap and betterly automated. So I've made some pointers here, and I haven't got this from the question. I have got this from my mind, from the industry which I know. I have got this from my mind and from the industry which I know. Okay. So now, supporting notes. Now, first, what you have written here should be elaborated here. That's the supporting notes. What you have written here, this is the format, should be elaborated here. Now see, a disruptive technology is that one which leads to emergence of new business model. A disruptive technology is that one which leads to emergence of new business models within an industry, or in some cases it could lead to completely new industry. Or in some cases it could lead to completely new industry. This is the proper definition of which you should learn. That disruptive technology is that one which leads to emergence of new business model, which will help you emerge in new business model, okay, within an industry. Or in some cases it could lead to completely new industry, through disruptive technology. A complete new industry can be generated. Like just I gave the example of Netflix. Now Netflix is totally a new industry, and now there are competitors arriving in that. Now that was the technology, that was the definition which we have to write. Now the impact on hotel industry. See, that the one who got the new technology are known as disruptors. The one who got the new technology are known as disruptors. Like in hotel industry, Airbnb, I hope you have heard about that, is the disruptor. Like the new industry, Airbnb, that they are the disruptors. Okay. As example, the Airbnb is an example. Disruptors are new entrants to market, capturing market share from existing hotels. Okay. The challenge for existing hotels is to keep their customers satisfied so that they remain loyal. The major challenge with the customers, once the disruptor have arisen, what they will do, they will showcase their technology and they will try to take their market share. Okay. Now, what hotel has to do, he has to offer such level so that its customers remain loyal. It's an impact on the hotel industry. Na? The disruptors will try to gain the market share, and what are the hotels needs to do? They needs to offer, they needs to keep satisfying their customer. They needs to keep satisfying their customer. Now, the importance of technology. Now, the importance of technology, aside from disruptive technology, technology has become more important in today's world, specifically in hotel industry. Keep disruptive technology aside. Now, hotel industry is regularly revolving, and it requires technology like services like Wi-Fi, card key, retina key are becoming more important and attractions for the customers. Therefore, hotels like Zilber has to cope up efficiently with modern changes. Now I'm coming on Zilber. That disruptive technology has become more important. Huh? Services like Wi-Fi, the card keys are becoming more important and attractions for customer. Therefore, hotels like Zilber has to cope up efficiently with modern changes. And similarly, now what's important impact on Zilber? Emergence of new competitor may impose a threat to occupancy levels. Huh? If customer knows about the new hotel offering better services in cheaper price, then the occupancy level of Zilber will be in a threat. Disruptors always seek to offer low price to attract market share from existing players, given through they are in tough economic conditions in country, which make prices more important. And if you want to write recent year, Zilber increased its price, which is a concern. Why it is a concern? As the disruptors, if any of the disruptor can arrive, it could take up your market share. In that time, Zilber needs to consider what are customer value, and should try to offer best value to customer, along with making technological changes to retain market share. See, I have written totally general here. I'm gone totally. First, I wrote to the disruptive technology. Then I went on to the hotel industry's impact, and then I went on to the Zilber's impact. And I also wrote that customer value technology. Apart from disruptive technology, our customer wants technology. See, in the last 10 years, the teaching has evolved. I'm here teaching to the world. In the last 5 or 10 years, there wasn't such a technology available. There wasn't such iPads or things available. So now our customer wants technology. So I'm gone totally general here, and this will give me marks. Why? Because there was no data given, and I've tried to at least be specific to the hotel industry, and at least be specific to the Zilber. This is how the general points can also be linked. Once you are going to write a general point, try to be linked with the industry, or try to be linked with the hotel, or try to be linked with the name of the company you are going to comment on. That is how the general point can be linked with you. That is how the general point can be linked with you. If there are any questions, please ask. Yeah, that's the proper way to go on to the slides. I'm going to do at least 3 to 4 questions in which slides are asked, and you can see the similar pattern being followed there, and you'll see the similar pattern being followed there. Now, the last question, which is an easy question, and that was really easy, that how we can how we can reduce the fraud, as fraud cannot be eliminated, it can only be reduced. Risk cannot be eliminated, it can only be minimized. The connection between the two persons that has led to the fictitious employees and their salaries being given, if you remember. And now see, the commercial acumen has been asked. Whenever commercial acumen is asked, they would ask you to recommend. Whenever commercial acumen is asked, they'll ask you to recommend. Why? What recommend? They will see in your recommendation that whether you are, they will see in your recommendation that whether you are commercially sound or not. They will see in your recommendation that whether you are commercially sound or not. Whenever commercial acumen is asked, the maximum times they will ask you to recommend. The maximum times they'll ask you to recommend. Now see, what was the problem here? The two employees were connected. And then this cash was stolen, if you remember the scenario. So we wrote some recommendations here that try to avoid getting cash. Okay, avoid hiring related party. The duties should be segregated, and the segregated persons should not be connected. Otherwise, the two can lead to a similar fraud. Okay, and similarly, internal audit should be there. Internal audit should be there to count. Internal audit team should be go suddenly on certain occasions. They should visit there and count, like the person who is going to commit the fraud, he should have a concern is in his heart that anytime the team can come and ask for a cash count. So these were the proper procedures, these were the proper controls. And see, all those controls are asking us, commercial acumen. I have to comment on commercially sound basis. Now, don't directly go on comment. First, try to elaborate the scenario, like what has happened. Don't directly recommend. This is commercial acumen, that the fraud committed related to controls over cash at point of sale. This is particularly specific for service industries, as there are no goods to be offered in exchange. Okay, there aren't any inventory records which can be traced. This is one of the problem with service industry. Like, this is one of the problem of service industry, that you cannot trace up the fraud through inventory. This is the services being given. So the one comment which is general, and I'm just making up a scenario of recommendation, that the fraud committed related to controls over cash at point of sale. This is particularly specific to service industry, as there are no goods offered. If goods are offered, we could trace through goods the amount of fraud, but in service we cannot just trace the amount exactly, because we haven't exchanged any goods. The fraud, now explaining the fraud. See, now I am explaining the fraud, that the fraud involved a manager who authorized discount and had control on accounting record and his wife who collects the cash and have control of that. The one who was giving the discounts, he was entering the wrong discounts on the records, and his wife that was collecting the cash, she was keeping the recorded discount in the hotel bank, and the remaining the excess discount she was getting to herself. That was the fraud. Like the manager was authorized to give 1,000 rupees discount, 1,000 pounds discount, for suppose they were customer, actually they were giving 100 pounds discount, but they were recording that we have given 1,000 pounds discount, and the 900 that has been given by the customer was going into the personal bank. And how he was able to do that? He was able to do that as he have the control of the cash, the accounting records. The control of the cash was by her wife. So similar, he had the control, and therefore he was doing this fraud. Normally, segregation of duties could avoid this fraud, and the segregation of duties were in place. The person of the accounting record was separate. The person who collects the cash was separate. Segregation was in place, but the segregation was not worth it as the both person were connected. So segregation was not worth it here. See, normally segregation of duties are placed to avoid such frauds. However, in that case, this pair managed to avoid control as they were acting as an individual, and both have same intentions. See, normally the segregation of duty avoids this type of a fraud. Normally, the segregation of duties avoid this type of a fraud, but in this particular situation, this control was taken over as they both were acting individually. They both were apparently two persons, but working as a single person, as they were connected. Okay, and I've commented some extra points also. Now, if you have missed those points, no worries. I've written an extra point here. See, importantly, before deciding the control, check whether the weakness is significant or not. If weakness is of minor, like if fraud of £1 is being done, yeah, £2 is being done, then why I would invest my time here? If the weakness is significant, then I would invest my time and resources. Now, see, I've written it here. It's not important to write each and every point. Importantly, prior deciding a control over cash, we need to see how many customers of Zilber pays in cash, so that significance of weakness can be determined. If the weakness is insignificant, I won't waste my time here. If the weakness is insignificant, I won't waste my time here. Similarly, the fact that internal audit have highlighted that they do not know from how long this fraud has been occurred. So also with a control which can prevent fraud, it would be better to detect the fraud. A control, see, just see that point what I have written here. Prior implementing a control which prevents fraud, it would be better try to implement a control which detects fraud, as HOD of internal audit doesn't know that from how much time the fraud has been offered, from how much time the fraud is being offered. The head of internal audit does not know exactly. So therefore I would request to think like this, like try to prevent the fraud, but before that try to detect the fraud. Implement such control that they could detect your fraud. Understood? Now the recommendations. Now you can write the recommendations. I have lengthened this requirement. You can keep it short also. You can use this 2 to 3 paragraphs and then write simply the recommendation. I have lengthened myself. Like I am here to provide you maximum pointers. Then you can think on your own and write the exact pointers you want for the answer. See, some of the recommendations to avoid the fraud are as follows, like separate recording, separate recording of cash, separate recording of cash transactions. This is one of the control, like the cash transaction should be recorded separate and daily reconciled Okay. Internal audit to review all cash transaction is one of the good control. Segregation of duties to rotate periodically. In our organization, a person gets a rotation after every 1.5 to 2 years. The reason being that there should be a new person performing the role, so he won't get a time, or he won't get an experience to override the control. So segregation of duty to rotate periodically, and segregation of duty to close personal relationships. The close personal relationships should not be hired, or should not be hired, or if they are hired, so they should be rotated permanently. The one should not get in connect with the other. They should be placed in other branches or other countries or other cities if it's possible, so that this type of a fraud can be minimized. And this is how our complete Zilber question is being done. Our complete Zilber question is being done. Any questions? Hey guys, if there are any questions, you can ask either on WhatsApp or in chat box. I'm going to share the answer and the question with you. Now what you have to do, all of you guys, what you need to do is try to read the examiner answer. Okay, read the examiner answer of Zilber. It's given in BPP kit. In fact, if you can see, I would also tell you that there are 3 answers: the best answer, the poor answer. In BPP kit, there are 3 answers: the bad answer, the good answer, the best answer, the good answer, and the poor answer. Try to read all 3. This is your assignment. Try to read all 3 answers. Try to read all 3 answers and take a difference. Highlight the difference that is being mentioned in these 3 answers. Like what answers examiner comments are the best, what answer examiner comments are the good, and one answer examiner comments are the poor. This will help you to at least go for a good answer so that you can pass. Okay, so this is your assignment, and the other question which we are going to attempt is cheap kit. If you get time, try to make a pointer of cheap kit also, like make a planner of cheap kit also. If you have time, we'll surely attempt this question. But if you got any time, so you can make a planner of cheap kit. You can make a planner of cheap kit. Okay, hopefully this has been cleared to you. Inshallah, we'll meet you soon with the next question and try to cover up your assignments. Take care. Allah Hafiz.